The man starts with the god-level talent yin-yang reversal. All skills will have the opposite effect. He resolutely chose the priest profession. The blood-boosting skill instantly becomes poison milk. One skill directly cuts the monster's health by half. The man's name is Jiang Chen. In his previous life, he was the strongest player on the surface. But when he reached the top of the ladder to heaven, merged with the devil, when he opened his eyes again, he found himself unexpectedly reborn. 2.5 hours before the game was launched. Turned out, it was a holographic game called Ragnarok. At first, people just thought it was a game, until a player discovered that the attributes in the game could be brought into reality. Everyone wanted to become stronger in reality. They all challenged the ladder to heaven in the game, win or die. And the male protagonist, Jiang Chen, is the only human to have reached the top of the ladder to heaven. Yet this time, he was still looking around with a dumbfounded look on his face. Could it be that he has been reborn? Before he could come to his senses, the door was suddenly kicked open, and a voluptuous girl slowly walked in and said, "Jiang Chen, what are you doing? You knocked on the door for a long time and didn't open it. You still want this thing?" He then placed the box in front of Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up when he saw the box. Inside was the game helmet of Ragnarok. Seeing Jiang Chen so excited, the girl complained with a hint of resentment. "I'm such a beautiful woman, standing in front of you. All you see is the game." At this moment, the girl suddenly saw the screen on the computer. "It turns out you like this one. No wonder you're so indifferent to me." Jiang Chen smiled sheepishly. "Sister Rui, look at what you're saying. Actually, I prefer the black silk elder sister." "I heard that." Zia Rui leaned in front of Jiang Chen and asked the sister, "Am I the type of woman you like?" "Silent." Jiang Chen couldn't help but swallow his saliva, and said to Rui, "You're too damaging to your health." Rui Zia smiled and twisted Jiang Chen's head. "Come on, you. Go play your game." Jiang Chen picked up the game helmet, and told him that the gods were more than just a game. Then, Jiang Chen snapped the helmet onto his head. As the countdown to the start of the game ended, Jiang Chen's biological information authentication was successful. Character is being generated. After a moment, Jiang Chen appeared in the initial hall of the gods. Sure, every player who enters the game will immediately receive a talent. In his previous life, he awakened a rare talent. I don't know what level of talent will be awakened this time. But suddenly, Jiang Chen's body suddenly emitted just streams of black and white energy. And in front of him, a strange dialogue box also popped up. Special energy detected. Analyzing. And he immediately acquired the unique talent of reversing yin and yang. Unknown level. The talent effect can make the skill have the opposite effect. Jiang Chen looked at the system prompt in a daze. He had never heard of such a thing in this game. There is a black and white talent with opposite effect. Could it be? His damage skills will turn into healing skills. What the hell is the point of playing? But soon Jiang Chen thought of a type of profession. He smiled at it, and without hesitation, he chose to become a priest. After a burst of light, Jiang Chen appeared in a priestly outfit. In this way, he named himself Fan Che, immortal, but also slay gods. After everything was ready, Jiang Chen was teleported to the newbie village. Jiang Chen ignored the new players coming and going on the road. He just wants to find a place to see how powerful his talent is. Each player starts with 10 points in the 4 attributes, and each class comes with an initial skill. The initial skill of the priest is healing, although it is not a damage skill, but the healing amount is not lower than the damage of the attack skills of the same level. Suddenly he noticed the small print at the bottom of the skill bar. Applying a talent to this skill can make the skill have the opposite effect. The skill effect is increased by 50%. After level 10, the effect is increased by 100%. And the priest profession comes with 1% mana regeneration per second. If you only use healing spells, you can completely ignore the cost of mana. At this thought, Jiang Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of excitement in his heart. He couldn't wait to activate his talents, yin and yang reversal, and his healing effect became reducing the target's health, and was 50% higher than the original healing amount. Seeing the effect, Jiang Chen couldn't help but swallow. Is this damage reasonable? This is much more abnormal than my talent in my previous life. Seems that in this life, he has a better chance of standing at the top of the ladder to heaven. Next, he has to complete a hidden task. Jiang Chen came to the green grassland alone. He knew that 2 hours after the server opened, special NPC. A special NPC will appear. It will only exist for an hour. Players can use Red Horn to exchange buffs with the NPC. As the only player who knows this information, he vows to get the best buff in the entire server. Then, Jiang Chen casted a healing spell on Lazy Goat, losing 60 HP. The attacked Lazy Goat immediately rushed towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen just slightly turned sideways, and easily dodged the attack from Lazy She. Then he raised his staff again, and casted a healing spell on Lazy Goat. After 4 consecutive healing spells, Lazy Goat finally died. Jiang Chen picked up the red horn that had fallen to the ground. Seems that 4 shots of healing can poison a sheep. In this way, Jiang Chen began the road of poisoning sheep. Until 2 hours later, he had collected a total of 705 red horns. In his previous life, he had only managed to collect 200. It seems like it's time to hand in. After a while, Jiang Chen arrived at the dilapidated temple. A group of players were shouting here for a team. Faced with the team invitation from the beautiful girl, Jiang Chen did not hesitate to refuse. In his opinion, there is nothing more important than redeeming the first buff in the entire server. More important, but even though he kept refusing, there are always beautiful women who ask to team up with him. Jiang Chen was so annoyed, and said that he only liked men. When he said that, directly burned the CPU of the beautiful warrior. Jiang Chen came to an old man, and heard the old man mutter, "Adventurer from another world. You are new here. Should have been guided by the god. But the temple is in ruin. The light of the gods is dim. Only the red horn can communicate with the gods. More of the stronger the blessings from the god." Jiang Chen took out a bag of red horn and told the old man, "I've come for this very reason." The old man opened it and was shocked. "You have so much red horn." The old man then took all the red horns away. "It seems that the gods are watching over you." Then the old man folded his hands in prayer, and mumbled an obscure incantation. A circle of red light suddenly burst from the palms of his hand, and spread outward, until it enveloped the statue behind the old man. Jiang Chen's heart was filled with curiosity. What level of buff will he get in this life? The next second, an angelic shadow appeared in midair. "Congratulations on getting a hidden buff. Blessing of Cupid." Jiang Chen laughed. First buff in the entire server has finally arrived. He couldn't wait to check the effect of his buff. Love's blessing. When you team up with the opposite sex, you can get buffs. Every time you reach full intimacy with a member of the opposite sex, you can unlock a buff. Team up with 3 members of the opposite sex to reach full intimacy. Can remove all team requirement. See, this man instantly stunned. He had just said that he didn't want to team up with girls, but then unexpectedly got this buff. Jiang Chen bowed respectfully to the old man, and asked the old man to communicate with him again, to give himself more buffs. The angry old man threw a staff at Jiang Chen's head. Jiang Chen looked at the girls and saw that they already had their own teams, and felt a pang of sadness in his heart. "If I had known, I wouldn't have turned down those girls. I don't know if I can find anyone." At that moment, he saw the female warrior who had just wanted to team up with him, and the female warrior was struggling to find a way out of the team. He had just clicked on the same team by mistake. This time, Jiang Chen sent him a team message. The girl suddenly saw hope. He enthusiastically waved to Jiang Chen. "Isn't this the good-looking little brother I just saw?" He came just in time. He immediately turned around and apologized to the 3 people on the team. Lying that his friend had arrived. He was going to quit the team. Jiang Chen was still sighing in private. The team formation information just now prompted. The girl was already in another team. "I thought I would go to the village entrance where there are a lot of people, see if there were any girls on the team." But suddenly the female warrior stopped him. Player, Qinjin, applied to join the team. Jiang Chen was stuck. It clearly showed that he already had a team. The girl explained. She just flipped her hand accidentally. Jiang Chen was overjoyed, accepted the sister's team invitation, and immediately went with her to the wild to kill monsters. Completely unaware of the 3 morons who had just been rejected. Gloomy expression. After a moment, the 2 were teleported to the blue plains. Qinjing asked the little brother, "Are we going to eat sheep's horns?" Jiang Chen said that it was too late to go now, and you can call me by my name. Upon hearing this, the girl happily called out, "Brother Fanchon, there doesn't seem to be any monsters here." As soon as the words fell, the sky, which had just been sunny, suddenly became dark. A level 5 jackal monster suddenly appeared before the 2 of them. The girl immediately took a fighting stance. Looking at the level 5 jackal monster, Qinjing was suspicious. "And a 3rd level knight Nana can fight it?" Jiang Chen held up his staff and told Qinjing to stay put and enjoy the scenery. Just wait for him to come back. Then he stood with the werewolf, facing the flying attack of the jackal monster. Jiang Chen's nimble positioning always easily diffuses, and occasionally gives the jackal a mouthful of poison milk. Qinjing was so scared that he was stunned. Holy shit! The little brother priest is a big shot. Even a level 5 mage's fireball only deals 30 damage. The priest can actually break 100 points directly. He must be cheating. But soon Qinjing dispelled this idea. The gods are a game developed by countries around the world. No one can cheat here. In Jiang Chen's side, with his slight positioning, constantly dodging the attacks of the jackal monsters, Qinjing's eyes were suddenly filled with desire. He vowed to straighten Jiang Chen out completely. But suddenly, Jiang Chen's shout interrupted his mental supplement. Suddenly, the jackal monster appeared behind Qinjing, and tried to sneak up from behind. Qinjing saw this and quickly raised her shield to block. Although he was able to block most of the attacks from the jackal monster, He was still cut on his arm by the monster. Jiang Chen immediately stood in front of Qin Jing and told him to stand back. Don't get distracted again. However, Qin Jing was just about to turn around and leave the battlefield. A jackal monster appeared from nowhere. Jiang Chen immediately rushed to the middle of the two jackal monsters and diverted the monster's hatred to him. Qin Jing froze in place. What a beautiful move. Can a human do this? 20 minutes later, Jiang Chen successfully killed the jackal monsters, and his level also increased to 6. At the same time, magic staff exploded on the ground. Jiang Chen took it in his hands and looked at the attributes. It was only a bronze-level piece of equipment. Jiang Chen knew, if it weren't for the blessing of the god of love, the quality of the equipment would have been increased by 1. He would only be able to produce a blank equipment. Jiang Chen summoned the system panel. Check the intimacy. The current progress is only 57. And this number, coincidentally, is the number of mobs he just killed. It seems that each time a monster is killed, only increases the intimacy by 1 point. 10,000 points is not a small number. At this moment, Wolf Howl interrupted his thoughts. The two asked, turned their heads, and it was a level 5 bronze boss. A mutant jackal monster. Every 10% of blood loss will launch an attack. Qin Jing saw this. His expression suddenly became panic. But Jiang Chen just smiled. In his opinion, now very few people can defeat a level 5 mobs. And it is even more impossible for anyone to encounter a level 5 boss. If he kills it now, it would be a first kill. Thinking about this, he wished Qin Jing well. You must listen to his commands. If he tells you to block, then block immediately. Upon hearing this, Qin Jing immediately agreed, and immediately set up a defense formation, and stood in front of Jiang Chen, ready to withstand the impact. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, kept releasing poison milk behind him. Each release will consume 180 HP of the boss. Jiang Chen releases his skills, while counting the number of attacks in his mind. 10,000 HP. Every 6 times of poisonous milk, the boss's HP will drop by 10%, and the 6 damage is done. The boss's eyes glowed with a scarlet light. Jiang Chen immediately shouted for Qin Jing to raise her shield to block. Upon hearing this, Qin Jing immediately released her skill to block. There was a loud clang. The boss and the shield collided head-on. At the same time, Jiang Chen jumped from behind Qin Jing into the air and unleashed the skill healing art. The boss's health bar is continuously decreasing. With the tacit cooperation of the two, finally succeeded in completely killing the boss after 5 minutes. Jiang Chen let out a sigh of relief. At this time, the system prompts kept ringing congratulations on completing your first kill. Level increased to 7. For basic attribute points +1. And gained for free attributes. And the boss also exploded. Silver grade robe of flowing clouds. A silver grade sharp dagger. And a seal 2-star skill book. But because his level was too low, he was unable to learn. Jiang Chen couldn't help but grin. Love to add 1 to drop titan. Smells so good. The robe of the floating cloud is just right for him to wear. He added all of his bonus attributes to his intelligence. Now the damage of a single healing spell is enough to kill monsters below level 5 in 1 hit. After receiving the reward, Jiang Chen and the others were ready to set off back to the novice village. However, 10 minutes later, they encountered 3 players from Qin Jing's former team. Encountered 3 players from Qin Jing's previous team. The 3 immediately recognized. Qin Jing glared at the 2 of them. One of them even picked up a bow and arrow to show Jiang Chen who was boss. Jiang Chen immediately sensed that something was wrong. He dodged the arrow that flew at him, and he stared coldly ahead. Aren't you coming out? As soon as he finished speaking, 3 of them walked out of the wood. What a stroke of luck. He missed. The elite loudly scolded the 3 men for attacking Brother Fanchen. Only to hear. The man who had just shot the arrow said with contempt. You think our team is a public toilet? You can come and go as you please. You can leave whenever you want. You're going back to Novice Village so slowly. We'll give you a ride. The mage in the group then unleashed a fireball spell and attacked the 2 of them. Qin Jing immediately blocked in front of Jiang Chen, blocking the attack. Jiang Chen, however, was not flustered, and even showed a gloomy smile on his face. He hadn't encountered a player who was so eager to give out equipment. Without saying a word, he threw a mouthful of poison milk at him. The archer who was hit was instantly killed by him. The other 2 immediately exclaimed, Holy shit! How can a priest have damage skills? And the damage is so abnormal. Is this guy cheating? Jiang Chen looked down on him with disdain as he pulled out his ears. Yes. Remember to report it if you die. He said that a poison milk killed the mage in seconds. The only remaining warrior was stunned. His own health bar couldn't withstand a single poison milk. He quickly smiled and tried to get Jiang Chen to forgive him. However, Jiang Chen did not give him a chance. In the blink of an eye, the soldier was instantly killed. After finishing off the 3 men, Jiang Chen collected the equipment that the 3 had dropped. As long as he sells the equipment, he will have the money to unlock the 2-star skill book. After returning to the novice village, Jing went to submit the quest alone. Jiang Chen went to the exchange. He will sell all the useless equipment he has obtained. Will be sold on the exchange. Soon he had 8 gold and 91 silver. This is enough to unlock his skill book. Jiang Chen came to the priest, the room of the junior instructor. He saw a guy with a crew cut wearing only overalls. Greeted him warmly. Welcome to the spiritual healing hut. And your mentor, Roth. Saying that, Jiang Chen couldn't help but cover his forehead. He quickly handed the skill book to the mentor. Now the priest profession. Is the path of the mentor so wild? After receiving the skill book, Roth showed a sinister smile. He asked for 5 gold coins. Jiang Chen didn't want to stay here for a moment longer, and gave him 5 gold coins without hesitation. Who received the gold coin, sealed the skill book with a satisfied look. A moment later, he handed Jiang Chen a healing light. Jiang Chen couldn't help but smile when he saw the skill. This skill is the early stage of the priest's divine skill. It is a group damage. After using the reversal of yin and yang, it is a perfect group attack. After receiving the skill, Jiang Chen is ready to go to Qingjin first. But on the way, met an older sister, pointing at a lowly and yelling at the little demon. As long as I'm around, you won't be able to upgrade in the gods. Jiang Chen heard this. His heart suddenly jumped. Teach little demon. The future world's #1 summoner was actually bullied like this in the early stages. Anyway, I still need 2 more girls to form a team. Why not help him out? Thinking of this, Jiang Chen walked up to Tao Xiaoyu, pressed down his palm to her. Team up. Seeing Jiang Chen's team invitation, Tao Xiaoyu asked in disbelief, are you really going to team up with me? Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen laughed. But otherwise, what else could I do but beat you up? Let's go and kill some monsters. Tao Xiaoyu glanced at the woman who threatened him, to show that he didn't want to affect Jiang Chen, because he was forbidden to leave the novice village. The woman on the side patiently waved to Jiang Chen. See? Hurry up and leave. Don't make me slap you. Jiang Chen, however, paid no attention to the woman, but instead, he reached out his hand to the peach demon. It's okay. I specialize in treating all kinds of idiots. Do you want to come? Upon hearing this, looked at Jiang Chen with disdain and sarcasm. What's with the act? As long as I'm around, peach demon won't be able to go with you. Delay me. However, before he could finish his sentence, Tao Xiaoyu agreed to join Jiang Chen's team. Seeing this, the woman angrily stopped Tao Xiaoyu from leaving. Just stay right there. As soon as she said this, completely angered Jiang Chen. He didn't want to get involved, but this woman was really a bit aggressive. He let out a mouthful of poison milk, and brushed past the woman, and happened to hit a rabbit passing by. Seeing Jiang Chen was able to instantly kill the rabbit, the woman was surprised and opened her mouth wide. How did you get such high damage? Then, Jiang Chen was not at all interested in answering the woman's question, and then he just walked away with Peach Demon. Now he is going to meet Qingjin at the village entrance. But this time, Qingjin at the village entrance looked at the suddenly added teammate with a puzzled look. He was the only one there before. Why is there another second-level girl? He had to comfort himself that he was there to gain experience. Stop thinking about it. After the 3 of them reunited, Qingjin took Jiang Chen's arm, asking where they were going next. Miss Kenya. Soon, the 3 of them arrived at their destination. Jiang Chen still asked the 2 to protect themselves in place, and cause him any trouble, and then walked alone to the corpse monster area. Jiang Chen had just entered the wild area. A level 7 chain zombie pounced on him. Jiang Chen raised his staff eye. It's 2-star skill, and let it go, instantly killing the undead, along with the 2 next to it. Saying it, the man smiled in satisfaction. Sure enough, after gaining group damage, his own monster slaying speed is much faster. And the peach demon who had just joined the team saw this. Suddenly his eyes lit up. I didn't expect Jiang Chen to be so powerful. You should know that Black Mist Canyon is a level 6-10 monster area. At the current level of players, even if you team up, you can't even approach this area. But Jiang Chen showed no signs of stress. He asked Qingjin curiously if the mortal god and the mortal god are lovers. Qingjin immediately covered her face in embarrassment, and said that it wasn't yet. He and the great god of the mundane realm had just met. Hearing this, Peach Demon was even more confused. Why did the great god bring us along? We can't seem to help. Qingjin also realized something was wrong when she heard this. At this time, Tao Xiaoyu suddenly covered her face, and a bold thought popped into her head. Could it be that he has a dirty thought about us? Upon hearing this, Qingjin suddenly realized. The truth is definitely yes. But then he thought again and realized that it wasn't right. Jiang Chen had clearly said that he liked men. Could it be that he deliberately formed a group of 2 girls? Did he deliberately form a group of 2 girls? At this point, Jiang Chen felt that the amount of information was too great. This is too exciting. At this moment, a notice suddenly popped up in front of Jiang Chen. It turned out that someone had reached level 10 first. System opened the level ranking. Jiang Chen shouted to Jiang Chen, "Brother Fanchi, you're on the level ranking list." But Jiang Chen was puzzled when he heard it. The leaderboard, after quickly killing the surrounding undead monsters, summoned the level ranking list directly. Someone had reached level 10 faster than him, resulting in the level ranking being announced early. And he took the 10th place on the leaderboard with a level 8. Occupied the 10th position on the leaderboard. Jiang Chen looked at the list on the leaderboard, thought to himself, just like in his previous life, the world was also at about the same time in the previous life. Reached level 10. Opened the leaderboard. But that guy has superpowers after all. He is still far ahead of me. And the two girls in the team looked at each other with a look of self-reproach. It's all because they're holding us back. Dragged Jiang Chen down. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen smiled sheepishly, to indicate that it was not their problem. Besides, they're not number one. It doesn't mean it won't be the case in the future. As long as he can get another boss. Before he could finish his sentence, Hao Xiaoyu pointed in a direction and exclaimed. Jiang Chen looked in that direction. It was a junior pet with a body attachment. A dreamy fairy. Jiang Chen saw it and was overjoyed. Unexpectedly, it was a pet that could add boss. This is much harder to find than a boss. The two girls were excited. Is Brother Fanchen going to tame a pet? I can learn more. At that moment, Jiang Chen suddenly felt someone approaching from behind. He turned around and saw. It was the woman who had bullied Hao Xiaoyu in the past. And she came with a group of people. The woman threatened Hao Xiaoyu, saying, "He told you, unless you stay in the safe zone forever, you'll be killed every time you come out. I'll kill you once." At this moment, Hao Xiaoyu saw the woman come up to seek revenge, and immediately began to tremble in fear. In order not to drag Jiang Chen and the others down, he quickly turned his head and asked Jiang Chen to kick him out of the team. He didn't want to cause any more trouble for Jiang Chen. But Jiang Chen just laughed. In his opinion, these little gagas were not yet a problem. At best, they were just delivering equipment. Hearing this, the woman was furious. The warrior behind him whispered to him, "Jiang Chen is on the leaderboard." But another companion said, "So what? He is only a priest after all." Jiang Chen impatiently asked whether they were going to fight. "Do you want to fight? Hurry up. If not, then just go away." Seeing him so arrogant, the woman glared at Jiang Chen viciously. "Since that is the case, I'll teach you a lesson." He then ordered his troops to attack. The soldier took a step forward to block the woman, while the woman unleashed a fireball spell from behind. Jiang Chen saw this, calmly ordered Qinjing to use the shield. A huge fireball rolled up countless tons of fire, and collided with Qinjing's shield. Jiang Chen's eyes flashed with cold light. Finally, he took action, randomly releasing healing rays, instantly killing the entire team. Qinjing happily took off in place, calling Jiang Chen a genius. But Hao Xiaoyu were shocked. What the hell is going on? After solving the problem, Jiang Chen began to prepare to capture the enemy. He told the two of them, if any players come over, they should immediately leave the team and attack themselves. There are two ways to capture a pet. One is to use special items to capture. The other is to rely on combat power skills. Jiang Chen casted a healing spell on the elf, enveloping the entire body. And the elf also showed a happy expression. Jiang Chen urged his teammates, if there is danger, attack yourself, and then directly enter the illusion to challenge. To capture the dream fairy, you must find the real body of the fairy in the fantasy world. You must find the real body of the fairy in the illusion. He knows that these illusions seem to be flying all over the place. But in fact, they all follow a fixed trajectory. Only the real body can fly around without a track. Jiang Chen carefully observed the trajectory of each fairy. Soon, he found the true body of the dream fairy. Without saying a word, he threw a healing spell at it. The system prompts congratulations on capturing your pet. Dream fairy. Jiang Chen then woke up in the game. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw the two women staring at him with confusion. The great god of the mortal world, you finally woke it up. You suddenly lost consciousness just now. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen smiled sheepishly, explaining that taming a pet would lead to a dream state. I was in a dream state when I challenged. Upon hearing this, Qinjing's eyes lit up. He touched the head of the spirit and asked if it was a successful capture. Jiang Chen ruefully told him that it was. The skill of this dream fairy is to blink, and can teleport to any point within a 5-meter radius. The cooldown time is 5 minutes, he said. He showed the two women his newly acquired skills. The two women's eyes were filled with desire, and called Jiang Chen handsome. He is a reincarnated immortal? After the skill was released, Jiang Chen surprised. Because of the buff from the god of love, his buff was halved. His skill CD was shortened to the 0.5 minute. It seems that he has made a fortune this time. But this time, Jiang Chen realized that the two women were staring at him, with a stupid smile on his face. Jiang Chen whispered to himself, "Why do I feel that these two girls are so silly? I'd better go kill some monsters." But the elite was whispering behind him, "It's really beautiful. Why is he gay?" Hearing this, the peach demon next to him suddenly had huge pupils. 10 minutes later, Jiang Chen looked at the bow and arrow that had exploded on the ground, and figured that he had finally shipped, although he couldn't use it. But he should be able to sell it for 40 or 50 gold coins. At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly felt a murderous intent behind him. He turned around and saw. It was a level 9 silver class boss, Decayed Soul Reaper. Sell it. The peach demon reminded Jiang Chen. The Decayed Soul Reaper has two skills. One is to corrode the old jar, which can not only cover a 4-meter radius, causing damage and slowing down by 30%. The other is the Flying Whip that lures the soul, which pulls the target back to the front, causing 200% damage, and stuns for 3 seconds. Jiang Chen was a little surprised to hear this. Tao Xiayue had even seen this before. Tao Xiayue said with a serious look. He had only seen it in the official monster guidebook. He had previously simulated several place tiles, but he needed a warrior to cooperate with the light cell, holding a shield and asking if his shield was okay. Tao Xiayue sighed helplessly. It's hard. Even if someone of a higher level comes to fight, would die easily. Hearing this, Jiang Chen sighed in his heart. Tao Xiayue was indeed worthy of being the best summoner in the previous life. He was right on the money, but he felt that he still had some chance of winning. When he said this, the two women were suddenly a bit stunned. "You need my help?" "No, you to find a safe place to stay. I can handle it." Jiang Chen jumped into the air, attracting the boss's attention. Tao Xiayue was shocked to see this. "Are you sure you can really fight?" Jiang Chen cast a healing light and went first. Although the boss lost a lot of blood, the blood bar did not move at all, and after the monster was attacked, suddenly spat out a mouthful of phlegm. Jiang Chen saw this, quickly ducked backward. Tao Xiayue was extremely nervous at this moment. The mortal god's position is so covetous. But how can he avoid the next attack? After losing 10% of his health, the boss throws out a big move. The Flying Swordsman, Peach Demon and Green Eagle, and Kenshin shouted to warn Jiang Chen to be careful. Jiang Chen is not afraid of the approaching Sith. He was instantly merged with the Dream Fairy. At the moment when the Sith was about to hit him, he decisively activated teleportation, and then suddenly appeared behind the boss. Jiang Chen's staff emits a dazzling blue light. The boss turned his head in horror, but it was too late. It wasn't until 20 minutes later, the boss was killed by Jiang Chen. At this time, the system gave a prompt. Congratulations on completing the Corrupt Soul Stealer. The first kill level has been upgraded to 9. Reward Gold level Frost Staff, Golden Phantom Boots, Golden Blood Tide Blade, Red Moonlight. The man holding the reward was secretly calculating in his heart. He can use the shoes for battle. The Blood Nest Greatsword can be auctioned at the trading post. As for the fashion design blueprint, you can keep it and sell them when the influx of professional players begins. It seems that this time I'm going to make a fortune. Jiang Chen looked at the two women, suddenly asked, "Let's call it a night. Will you be online tomorrow?" The two girls said repeatedly that they would still be online. The three agreed to meet again tomorrow. Jiang Chen then logged out of the game and returned to the real world. He threw himself into bed and slept soundly. Early the next morning, a beautiful sister from the neighboring house came to wake him up and brought him breakfast. Soon, Jiang Chen opened the door and complained. "It's early in the morning. Sister Ruin, what are you doing?" Xia Rua pushed the breakfast in front of Jiang Chen's chest. Proudly said, "Here, this is the breakfast I brought you after my morning run." Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen took the breakfast and jokingly thanked her. "But I only pay. I don't accept payment in kind." "You're so witty, aren't you?" Then Xia Ren asked Jiang Chen which newbie village he was in. When he learned that the two of them were not together, he sat down on the chair. He wanted Jiang Chen to take him to the next level. He heard that this game is especially profitable. Now a gold coin can be exchanged for 75 Wuxia coins. It is estimated that it can be exchanged for more than 100 in the later period. At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly thought of Xia Rua's major is fashion design, and thought of giving her the fashion design drawings. Jiang Chen suggested that Xia Rua choose the profession of a seamstress. As a career, after level 10, you can make all kinds of clothes for sale. It's the most profitable profession among the gods. Upon hearing this, Xia Rui immediately became interested. But he is only level 3. Jiang Chen said nonchalantly. He will write a strategy for him when he has time. This is a trivial matter in front of him. After Xia Rua left, Jiang Chen put on his helmet again. Today's goal is to reach level 10. As soon as he logged on, he received a message from Peach Demon. Asked Jiang Chen to go online and call him. Jiang Chen smiled. He was online even earlier than me. This boy is teachable. But for now, He still has to go to the trading house first to hang up yesterday's loot. Once everything is ready, Jiang Chen set off for the village entrance to meet the two women. Seeing Chen Jin yawning repeatedly, Jiang Chen asked him with a smile if he had been a thief last night. To all the fault of the foreign being so fascinating. He was up until 3 last night. Hearing this, Tao Xiaoyu also became excited. That's right. Last night, there were a lot of new monsters that I didn't know, and those who have reached level 10 were all stuck in the ancient secret realm, and they can't go to the main city. I didn't know that. Isn't this the top post on the forum from last night? Isn't the forum for gossip? But what is this ancient secluded realm? Can't you go straight to the main city after level 10? Tao Xiaoyu told him. To go to the main city, you must first clear the dungeon and open the door. Dungeon. The ancient secret realm. Jiang Chen thought to himself after hearing this. The first time the dungeon was opened in the previous life was at 12 o'clock tonight. But this time, the door will be opened earlier. He called the two girls to prepare to go to the wild to level up. Today they need to help him pull monsters. After a while, the two women ran wildly in the wild with their clothes in tatters. And behind them was a large group of corpse monsters. Each demon shouted, "Great monster! I've brought them." Calculated it based on the power of the great god. Just enough to kill the peach demon. At least consider my. Hearing this, Jiang Chen sighed. It's no wonder he was the best summoner in his previous life. He is a real beast. Then he went into full attack mode. Many indeed monsters fell under his poisonous smoke. As his level reached 10, his skill power increased by 100%. Jiang Chen saw this. Suddenly saw stars in his eyes. Oh my goodness. This talent is too amazing. I like it now. He is ready to help the two girls upgrade to level 10. Then go to the ancient secret realm. When he arrived at the ancient secret realm level, he found that many people had gathered to watch the fun. Everyone was guessing which team would be the first to clear the secret realm. After all the major guilds ended in failure. Even the largest guild, the Dynasty Guild, was wiped out as a result. And I heard the people around me talking about it. Qingjing and Tatsuya were secretly pleased. Fortunately, they had Jiang Chen, the big boss, on their side. They firmly believed that Jiang Chen would definitely become the first person to clear the game. Thinking about this, they were even more determined in their mind. Hold on to the big guy, and strive to straighten it out. When they first entered the dungeon, they suddenly felt a chill. Acquainted with 4 stone platforms placed at the 4 corners in a regular manner, Qingjing asked with a puzzled look, "Why is there no monster in this dungeon?" Jiang Chen stepped onto the stone platform. He asked the two women to stand on the stone platform. Upon hearing this, the two women obediently did as they were told. This time, Tao Xiaoyu couldn't help but ask, "There are 4 stone platforms here, but there are only 3 of them. What should they do with the remaining one?" "Aren't you a summoner? Just summon a summon beast and stand on it." Upon hearing this, each demon immediately released the summoning technique. A large yellow dog jumped out of the formation, and Huang stood on the stone platform. Several cave monsters crawled out of the center door, including the 7 classes of the god, and all at level 10. Jiang Chen slowly walked down the steps, reminding the two women, these mobs have basic skills for each class, and are similar to the attributes of level 10 players. Qingjing heard this. Was shocked. What attributes are similar to those of players? Wouldn't that be very strong? But Jiao Zhoujiu all laughed. No. This means that the great god can kill them in seconds. Jiang Chen raised his staff high. The blue light was constantly gathering above it. Next second, the first wave of skeletons were instantly poisoned to death by Jiang Chen's poison mill. Unlike Qingjing's surprise, Tao Xiaoyu had previously investigated the form, the strength of these monsters. At this stage, only Jiang Chen can easily kill them in seconds. And Jiang Chen was also very excited at this time. This is the first time he has used his full strength since he reached level 10. As long as it is not an invincible defense skill, he can ignore defense and deal real damage. At this moment, Jiang Chen couldn't help but light up. It turned out that the system had issued a full server announcement. Leaders of the major guilds are all begging him to sell the blood nest giant to them. Looking at the system prompts that kept popping up, Jiang Chen's eyes glowed. He didn't expect the blood nest giant to be so popular, but he quickly calmed down. So many bigwigs are begging for this blood-tied giant. Would it be that they are all after the first pass to the ancient secret realm? Thinking about this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but laugh. He casually threw a mouthful of poison mill, and instantly killed the second wave of skeletons. In that case, then it is even less likely that he will let the auction end early. He will now slow down the speed of killing monsters, and wait until the blood-tied giant auction is over before clearing the level. By then, the equipment will have been sold. He will still get the first pass reward. This time he really made a fortune. It's worth over 100,000 yuan. Is this game so profitable? Cao Xiaoyu waved his hand and told Kenjin, only the great gods can make money. No one else can make money by themselves. The benefits are shared equally after the team is formed, but it may not be as good as the losses. Watching Jiang Chen fight without stress, the two women were even more determined to work hard to level up. At this point, the dungeon finally stopped spawning normal mobs, but began summoning bronze level of you. The carefree guard, Cao Xiaoyu, saw this, shouted to remind Jiang Chen, these elite monsters are very powerful. 40 of the guilds were wiped out here. Jiang Chen threw a poison milk over. The monster didn't die. It only slowed down a little. Jiang Chen's eyes instantly became serious. But fortunately, he can fly kites to deal with these wild monsters. But the problem is, after the monsters have only 10% of their health left, we'll activate the invisibility skill. The invisibility effect will only disappear when the monster attacks itself. Will disappear. Jiang Chen dodged, while thinking about how to deal with it. At this moment, all the monsters activated their invisibility skills. Jiang Chen saw this and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Now is the time. Each demon and Kenjin also had cold sweat for Jiang Chen. Damage dealt by these mobs is much higher than Jiang Chen's HP. Jiang Chen instantly merged with the Dream Fairy and activated the skill Instant Shadow. With a loud bang, Jiang Chen's figure instantly appeared above the monster's head. As he unleashed his poison milk, the green light on the monster's bodies burst into a blaze, and a silver-grade white jade bone shield fell to the ground. Two were standing nearby. Their eyes sparkled with desire, and kept praising Jiang Chen for being a great god. Timing control is not something that ordinary people can learn. Before the three of them could be happy, there was a violent tremor in the dungeon. A huge hand broke through the ground, and the smoke and dust cleared. The skeleton boss holding a purple crystal ball suddenly appeared in front of the three of them. Looking at the boss's skill introduction, Jiang Chen's face suddenly broke out in cold sweat. Mana burn, and shoot a ray of light at the farthest target, which reduces the target's mana by 10%. Lasts for 10 seconds. Soul confusion. Health drops to 10%. Enables the enemy to deal 100% of true damage. Only hears the boss's hollow voice. I am the chief mage of the empire. Carefree ant. How dare you desecrate my tomb? I hereby sentence you all to. Jiang Chen covered his forehead. Have a headache. The boss's two skills. All are geared towards healing professions. So it's me. But the crystal ball in the boss's hand is a good thing. This is a rare item that can only be obtained. To get the best item, Jiang Chen turned his head and told the two women that the boss was very simple. They'll attack later, and draw the enemy's attention. You to take the opportunity to attack. The two girls were stunned when they heard this. It's very simple. This is the big boss who wiped out all the guilds. But they quickly adjusted their state, listening attentively to Jiang Chen's commands. When everything was ready, Jiang Chen walked towards the boss. Kenjin and Tatsuyo can afford the mana burn, and the soul is in chaos, and be solved by using the skill of the phantom boots. The boss who was hit by the poison milk instantly became furious. How dare you lowly people trespass here? I will scatter your souls to the four winds. There is no place to bury the dead. The two women behind him felt the boss's pressure, and were shocked. They lamented that the experience of this game was too real. Jiang Chen closed his eyes tightly, complained that the boss was all bones, and still so immature. The boss has already accumulated enough energy. A purple-red energy ball formed in front of him. The next second, it rushed towards Jiang Chen at a very fast speed. Jiang Chen just slightly moved to the side and dodged it. Then he raised his staff, and threw a mouthful of poison milk. Threw it at the boss, and he shouted for Kenjin and Tatsuyo to attack now. After the attack, quickly move away from himself. Upon hearing this, Kenjin and Tatsuyo each displayed their own special skills, and attacked the boss directly. However, the damage added up to only 20 points. But this already achieved Jiang Chen's goal. He told the two women to immediately go behind him. So, boss would judge them as the furthest target. Release mana to burn, and he only needs to pay attention to the chaos of the soul. Sure enough, the boss raised his hand. The crystal ball emits a purple-red flame, instantly hitting the peach demon at the farthest point. Jiang Chen took the opportunity to attack the boss. Soon, the boss's HP was reduced by 10%. Triggered the skill Soul Chaos. The boss raised the crystal ball high, and the dark purple energy kept gathering, and then smashed it down on Jiang Chen. But Jiang Chen just smiled, and his figure became illusory. Next second, a value of 1,500 floated out from Jiang Chen's head. The whole person fell to the ground with his head tilted back. Kenjin was horrified. Brother Fancheng was killed in a second. No, the number is great. This is not the great god. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Chen snapped his fingers not far away. This is the equipment skill of the phantom boots. Automatically creates a phantom when attacked. Immunity to a single damage. At this time, the system auction house sent to remind the price of Jiang Chen's blood-tied greatsword. has reached 30,000 gold coin. At this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but grin. Soaring speed. I don't know how big a surprise the guilds will give me after I'm done with the strategy. How big a surprise the major guilds will give me. At this moment, head of the Tianjin Guild, Yanluo, is staring intently at the auction house. As long as he gets the Blood Nest Giant, he will be able to clear the ancient secret realm. Under his constant bidding, he finally succeeded in bidding for it at a cost of 60 million. Yanlu couldn't wait to go to the ancient secret realm. However, as soon as he got up, he received a world notification. Congratulations to the player. Qinjin Fetching Toksui O Demon has cleared the ancient secret realm and completed the first kill achievement. Hearing this news, Yanluo's whole body went numb. He immediately angrily smashed the table. Go check it out right now. No matter which guild these three belong to, I will make them pay. On the other side, the boss of the ancient secret realm has been beaten to pieces. Jiang Chen looked at the system prompt and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Not only had his level increased to 11, he also earned the title of Guide, which increased his drop rate by 50%. Combined with the buff of 1 drop quality, it's almost perfect. Then he checked the equipment dropped by the boss. Place Magic Horror. Active skills have a 20% chance of triggering a double effect. Vitality Necklace. Restores 2% of your health every second. Effect is halved during battle. Ring of Ray. Critical strike rate 5%. Critical damage increased by 5. And a sealed skill book. The 3-star mortal was very satisfied with the equipment that fell. 2 of the 3 pieces of equipment are usable by him. And although the probability of obtaining a skill book from the ancient secret realm is high, but they are usually 1-star. I didn't expect my luck to be so good. I even got a 3-star skill book. But this time the strategy was successful. And it was also thanks to Tao Zhaoyuan and Qinjin. Thinking about this, he prepared a bronze-level piece of equipment for each of the 2 women. On hearing this, Qinjin and Tao Zhaoyuan jumped 8 meters in the air in excitement. Brother Fan is so good. Brother Fan is so wonderful. Brother Fan croaks. Unexpectedly, they didn't help much, and even got equipment. The 3 of them then prepared to leave the dungeon and head to the main city. After the 3 came out, immediately caused a sensation among the onlookers. But everyone thought that Qinjin was the real big shot. They insisted on taking a group photo with him. After all, he is the only one of the 3 who is a warrior. Jiang Chen and Tao Zhaoyu also explained to Qinjin that we are waiting for you in the novice village, and then turned and left, leaving Qinjin, who was dumbfounded, standing there. What's going on? After a while, the 3 of them successfully met up at the newbie village teleportation array. Seeing Qinjin back in the team, Jiang Chen immediately activated the teleportation array and teleported the 3 of them to Zhonglu City. He let the 2 women go around first to see if they could meet any hidden characters. He went to the office of the finance minister in Zhonglu City, the NPC shop. Heard that someone wanted to buy a shop. The NPC suddenly brightened up. He asked Jiang Chen if he wanted a shop in the city hall, or the shops on the streets outside. Jiang Chen told him that. Next second, the NPC will take out a sketch of the store, because the trading house has a daily limit on the number of items that can be listed. Opening a shop allows you to sell items and equipment that you don't need. Can be sold here. And after Ruier is promoted to a tailor, you can also sell them here. He pointed to the middle shops. I need 6 shops. Hearing quantity, the NPC gave a very thoughtful discount. 6 shops per year. 10,000 rent per year. Rent? Jiang Chen didn't think twice and rented it directly. He then went to the room of the priest's career mentor to prepare a few skill books for the Samsa. But when he opened the door, his blood immediately started to boil. This milk production is even more than mine. Jiang Chen handed the skill book to the mentor with a trembling hand to show that he had come to unlock his skills. The instructor was shocked when he received the skill book. This is a 3-star. After paying 50 gold coins as a reward, the mentor pointed at the skill book. Immediately after, Jiang Chen received the system prompt. Little Saint Light Apocalypse Array. Unleash a 20-meter diameter hexagon formation. Friendly forces in the formation recover 100% of their health every second. Jiang Chen saw the skill. His eyes lit up like, if you had yin and yang reversal, wouldn't it be like thinking of this place? He immediately reversed the skill to restore 100% of his health instantly. 200% HP deducted. This also means, as long as the magic circle is open, a 20-meter diameter area will be full. Within the area, I am invincible. After all this is done, he was ready to meet the 2 women. At this time, Qinjin sent a message. He encountered a random infinite challenge task, asking Jiang Chen if he wanted to take it on. Hearing this, Jiang Chen thought to himself that this girl's luck was too good, because the monsters that can do this task had a high chance of exploding in experience points. He directly let Qinjin take on the task. On the other side, a little Gaga from the heavenly court rushed to the front of Yama, and told him, the Union has found the player who robbed them of their first pass. But it is said that among the three, one of the top female knights in the national server, and a priest on the leaderboard. It's not a good idea to offend. It's probably not a good idea. But Yanluo was already blinded by hatred at this point. Since you took my first kill, then you should pay the price. He ordered his men to gather all the guild members. He wanted the three to know the interests of the celestial court are inviolable. After all, the gods are not just a game. Soon, a large group of people marched towards Julu City. At this moment in reality, the president of the Xin'Ots Guild, Langfen, also received the news. He knew Yanluo was trying to use this opportunity to establish his authority in the game, to make the name of the Heavenly Court Guild known. Looks a bad idea, but he can't have all the good things for himself. Langfen said nothing on the game helmet directly, and he wasn't there to get a share of the action, but to win over Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen and the others had already arrived at the mission location, Nightmare Forest. As soon as they entered the dungeon, the system will prompt you that you have entered the Demon Realm Rift. The Infinite Challenge mission begins. You can complete the challenge in 10 minutes. As the task begins, a group of horned demon soldiers came out of the crowd. Jiang Chen told Qinjing to take charge of fighting the monsters, but keep the monsters away. After receiving the order, Qinjing went straight up to meet it, and withstood the monster's attack. Jiang Chen was preparing the Holy Light Apocalypse Array from behind, a 6-pointed star formation. A circle of 6-pointed star magic circle rapidly spread out. The next second, countless monsters were killed in an instant. Soon, Jiang Chen's backpack was filled with the equipment that had been exploded. The extra useless equipment can be used to feed the magic crystal ball. Under his fusion, the level of the magic crystal ball was successfully upgraded from silver to gold. Effect of double casting is directly double. Jiang Chen looked at the equipment description, and his eyes widened in surprise. 40% double casting. I'm going to be completely invincible. At this time, Qinjin once again attracted a group of monsters, shouting, Brother Fancha, if you don't do anything, I'm going to fight. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. He told Qinjin to come to him quickly. Then a circle of small holy light apocalypse formations unfolded again. Once again, all the monsters were killed in an instant. Qinjin looked behind him sullenly. It was a close call. Jiang Chen's level has also increased to 12. At this time, the system prompts the three to complete the Infinite Challenge mission. Players can leave the Demon Realm Rift freely. But Jiang Chen told the two to wait a little longer. There's still one last monster that hasn't come out. Sure enough, after a moment, Silver Level Elite, a winged demon. He wasn't there to lead the way, but for the elite treasure chest at the end of the level, 'cause he knew, in this instance, only this monster will drop gold level equipment. Sure enough, a winged demon slowly flew out of the demon's crack. Jiang Chen saw this, immediately activated the little holy light apocalypse array. With the blessing of the reversal of yin and yang, monster's HP disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. Until 30 seconds later, the monster's HP is completely cleared, and two pieces of equipment burst out. Magic blood armor has a 20% chance of triggering a health recovery effect when attacked. Excellent level light, absorbing tassel skirt. Blueprint can only be found during the Lunar New Year. Jiang Chen put the equipment in his backpack. He was satisfied and left with the two women. However, when they returned to Julu City, they found the players standing at the gate, as if they were waiting for them. As he passed the two players, the player whispered to him to be careful. The people from the Tianjin Guild. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. It seems that the person who took the picture of the Blood Nest Greatsword is in the Heavenly Court Guild. It is very likely that the President Yanluo should be to seek revenge on himself. He told the two women to go out and find out what they could. While he went to the store, hung the extra equipment in his backpack on the wall to sell it. After all this, the two women sent messages at the same time. The head of the Heavenly Court, Yanluo, has brought 300 people, and threatened to kill the three of them. And the kingdom of the world dynasty will never perish. This and many other top guilds seem to want a piece of the pie. Hearing this, Jiang Chen's eyes instantly turned cold. Since you've come to me, don't blame me for being rude. It's just right to use the player's life to start the mission. Soon after, in the tavern, a big man was here drinking to get drunk. Suddenly, Jiang Chen called out from behind. The man sobered up instantly. Adventurer, how did you know I was the lord of the city? I think it must be a sign from God. He heard it was of divine guidance. The lord of the city straightened his clothes and answered seriously. Jiang Chen, since it is the guidance of the God, I will give guidance and help to adventurers from other worlds who have just arrived in the main city. Guidance and help. As soon as he finished speaking, the system gave a prompt congratulations. Set off on a journey to complete the limited quest. Go to the Ashen Lands to obtain the heart of the rock beast. The more you have, the higher the reward. Limited time of 3 hours. At the same time, Jiang Chen, as the first adventurer to find him, the lord of the castle also gave him a hint. Don't provoke the Lord of the Ashes. At the same time, the world announcement also reported on this mission. Everyone saw this mission, and those teams that were planning to cause trouble for Jiang Chen temporarily abandoned their plan. For them, the limited mission was even more tempting. Soon everyone abandoned the Ashen Lands. Yan Wu called all the guild members here. He originally planned to take advantage of the small number of people to quickly kill monsters, and then go after Jiang Chen and the other two. He underestimated the speed of other guilds. Leader of the group, a big man, taunted, "Oh my, isn't this the president of the Heavenly Court? Why aren't you besieging the shouting team? Why are you running outside the city?" Yan Wu turned around and sneered, joking, "The shouting team is no match for the limited mission, but you want to reap the benefits of the situation. You have to see how much you are worth." "Oh, don't worry about it, Yan Wu. After all, I didn't spend 60 million to buy the blood-deducting giant." "Oh, that's right. I'd like to give you a friendly reminder. If you start a war, after death, the best equipment will drop." Jiang Chen on the other side avoided the crowd, and led his team straight to the depths of the Ashen Lands. The limited mission is just a pretext. His real purpose is to distract everyone, to hunt down the Shu Th level silver level boss, the King of Rocks. Alone, only the angry roar of the King of Rocks could be heard, disturbing my slumber. "Oh, the humans, I will burn you all to ashes." This was all a trap set by him. He wanted to sacrifice everyone's lives, so that the boss can be promoted to gold level. Before the plan began, he told Qingjing and Tatsuya, after he lures the King of Rocks away, he should quickly go to the stone pit where he was. "There's a rock crystal inside. Wait for my signal, and then crush it." Then he released a poison breath at the King of Rocks. Milk, the boss, who had been attacked, opened its mouth wide in anger, and pounced on Jiang Chen. "Seal it." Qingjing and the other two quickly rushed to the position where the King of Rocks had just stood. Sure enough, a red crystal stood in the middle. It was the core of the Rock King. After being destroyed, the Rock King will be weakened for half an hour. Soon, Jiang Chen will lead the King of Rocks to the center of the crowd. Green-capped player saw someone break in, and turned around and roared, "This area is contracted by the Heavenly Court Guild." Before he could finish his sentence, the King of Rocks was already by their side. The cuckold was stunned, and quickly called the president to inform him. The boss appeared here. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, hid in the corner, quietly watching the crowd, fighting. Ting Guild. King of the Rocks, can you be promoted from silver to gold? It's up to you. He told the 2 green eagles to destroy the rock crystal now. And then the King of Rocks fell into a weakened state. Seal it, the little Gagas were overjoyed. On the other side, Yama also received a message from his subordinates. He immediately ordered his subordinates to stop killing monsters, and went with him to kill the boss. He must get this first kill. Seeing that the Heavenly Court Guild had all withdrawn, immediately became suspicious, and led their guild members to follow them. At this moment, the members of the Heavenly Court Guild were fighting the boss. While looking back, how long will it take for the president and the others to arrive? They can't hold out much longer. Suddenly, Green Hair saw a familiar figure. Yan Wu was leading a group of people running towards them, but there seemed to be too many people behind him. Yan Mo had just arrived at the battlefield, and had people cooperate with other guilds to clear the field. At this time, the cold wind of the Shinot's guild stood out. If I were to say that since it is a wild boss, then everyone should get a share. Let's all go at it together. When he said this, the players all agreed with Lang Fen and said, "You're right." Yan Mo bit his teeth in anger. "This stick of shit. I'll get rid of it sooner or later." His subordinate asked him what he should do now. What else can he do? Attack. He charged. In an instant, all kinds of attacks pounded down on the boss. At the same time, Qingjing and the other 2 also arrived at the battlefield. Seeing the melee fight not far away, they asked Jiang Chen, "Do you want to use the boss to solve the problem of the Heavenly Court Guild?" At this time, Jiang Chen suddenly jumped down from the tree. You guessed correctly, but it wasn't his ultimate goal. The boss has a skill called the Life Furnace. Every time he kills a target, he strengthens himself. He wants to use this skill to upgrade the boss. Upon hearing this, Tao Xiaoyu immediately understood. That's why Jiang Chen told them to destroy the flaming spur, to weaken the boss, to attract more people to come. Jiang Chen smiled and snapped his fingers. That's right, to budget young the time. The boss's weakened state should also be over. As soon as he finished speaking, the boss's entire body turned red again. Yan Lu's eyes instantly showed a look of panic. He quickly told everyone to hide. But it was too late. Under the boss's counterattack, countless thorns emerged from the ground, directly killing half of the players. Seeing the theme, Yama instinctively wanted to withdraw from the battlefield and wait for the boss's skills to cool down before launching an attack. However, at this moment, Yan Luo's pupil suddenly dilated. The boss's HP instantly dropped to 38%. Holy shit! It's a recovery skill. And at this moment, the people are still unaware of their fate. They desperately hunted the King of Rocks. Soon the King of Rocks' half-hour weakness period had already killed half of the players with a single move. This time, the president of the 7-Kill Guild came to Yan Lu's side. He suggested that all guilds unite, first solve the boss, and then talk about it. Upon hearing this, Yan Luo said that a union was possible, but he must say command. The other guild masters don't care about this at all. If you want a command, you tell me. The final blow anyway is up to each person's skill. Then the Lord of Hell called out to everyone. All the knights took the front line and opened their shields. The warriors launched the main attack. For a moment, the boss was forced back. He ordered the nanny to replenish the knights and warriors with mages and archers. By time for the nanny, the Green Eagle, who was watching the battle, worried that Yang Luo would take the first kill. But Jiang Chen didn't think so. He can't kill the boss at all, because the boss has a skill called the Life Furnace. Apart from the superficial effect of restoring health, the real effect is to absorb life energy, strengthen themselves, and eventually achieve a level upgrade. When this was said, both women were shocked. It was only now that they realized Jiang Chen did everything just to help the boss evolve into a golden level. They suddenly felt a bit sorry for these people. They have no idea what they are facing. On the other side, with the concerted efforts of many labor unions, the boss's health was down to 2%. Just as everyone was about to take the first kill, the boss let out a terrifying roar. The health bar instantly returned to full, and he was promoted to gold level. He opened his blood-filled mouth. In an instant, a sea of fire spewed out of his mouth. In just a moment, he sent most of the players back to the respawn point. At this time, Jiang Chen and the other two saw that the time was right, also began to gradually move towards the battlefield. Hao Xiaoyu was worried that the major guilds had not been wiped out. Wouldn't it be too much of a hate-drawing move to go now? Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen laughed. What are you afraid of? Who would dare to have an eye on me? I dare to continue to teach them to be human. They've brought this on themselves. Yet this time, in the middle of the battlefield, Yan Luo saw that the situation was getting worse. Just wanted to tell everyone to retreat. But at that moment, the boss spat a mouthful of phlegm at him. At the moment he saw 3 figures rushing towards him. He didn't understand. All the labor unions had been wiped out. How dare these 3 people approach at this time? The golden boss. Cao Jiayu asked Jiang Chen if they need to pull the boss over. No hurry. Wait for the boss to go back and then fight. Clear the scene first. He looked at the treetops in the distance and said viciously, if you dare to come near, I don't mind sending you back to life. There are reporters hiding in the trees at this moment, with beads of cold sweat on their faces. You have to know that they are in a state of stealth, and they can't be seen by ordinary people. The man turned to ask his teammate, should we continue to follow them? I have a feeling there's big news on them. Let's wait here first. That priest doesn't look like a pushover. I don't want to go back to the city for free. After a while, the boss returned to the depths of the Ashen Lands. Jiang Chen waved his hand, then told the 2 women to stand back. Don't get caught up in the battle. As soon as he said this, Tianju's eyes widened. This is the boss of a group that has wiped out all the top guild. The great god actually wants to solo. Jiang Chen raised his staff high and brazenly activated the little holy light apocalypse array. Next second, the boss's head kept flashing a blood loss reminder. But let out a terrifying roar. Stupid little hand. The lava will surely devour you. He then swung his claws at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen just jumped lightly and dodged the boss's attack. The holy light apocalypse array deals continuous damage, plus his healing hearts and healing light, and a certain probability of dual cast. He is confident that he can defeat the boss in 20 minutes. And it's your time to die. Tianjin was completely stunned. The boss who gave all the big bosses a headache was completely helpless in front of Jiang Chen. But Jiang Chen was able to maneuver in the boss's attacks. Only Cao Xiaoyu could analyze it. The Jiang Chen had anticipated much of the position of the ground spiked attack. Before each attack, all cracks appear in the ground, and the main reason for the destruction of several major guilds is that there are too many people. Because the boss has a skill called the Life Furnace. Not only can it continuously restore health, but also absorb life energy to promote themselves. If the boss can't use the player's blood to heal itself, the difficulty of the boss is already reduced by half. Of course, the most important thing is, they don't have explosive output like Jiang Chen. At the time of Tao Jiurea's analysis, Jiang Chen had already reduced the boss's HP to 80%, triggering the skill magma fire ray. Countless fire snakes spewed from the boss mouth. For a moment, Jiang Chen drove at top speed and went around to the back of the boss to continue to output. When the HP is reduced to 70%, the boss stomps the ground hard. A huge sea of fire erupts from the ground. However, at this time, Jiang Chen had already arrived at the top of the boss. The poison milk was directly smashed over. Not far away, two reporters from the network heard the commotion and secretly scared. Unexpectedly, they would dare to challenge the gold-level boss with 3 people. At this time, the man complained that they were too far away from the battlefield, and they can't see clearly. It's better to take advantage of the fact that Jiang Chen and the others are too busy to pay attention to their surroundings. They sneak in carefully. Upon hearing this, the woman's pupils shrink slightly, indicating that she did not want to get. She would rather continue to wait here. But suddenly, the system prompt made the woman's eyes widen. World announcement. Gold level boss, the King of Rocks, has completed his first kill, and Jiang Chen has also been promoted 3 levels. We're in level 15. Looking at the equipment dropped by the boss, Jiang Chen's face lit up with joy. Heart of Rock Crystal, Heart of the King of Rocks, equivalent to 1000 rock stars. Devouring Demon, the front runner. Each skill damage has a 10% chance to absorb blue energy, automatically triggered when HP is reduced by 50. Mana Shield, Thunder Stack. Each attack inflicts thunder and flame paralysis. Reduces the target's attack speed and movement speed. 3-star skills of the magic stone can be used to enhance 3-star skills. Seeing the skill stone, Jiang Chen froze in place for half a day without coming to his senses. Oh my goodness, you've made a fortune. After putting on the devil devouring robe, his survivability is now even better than a tank. Plus the paralyzing effect of the thunder flame staff, combined with his own little holy light apocalypse array, and form continuous magic. It can be said that, at this stage, he is the invincible existence among the players of the god, and this 3-star skill stone can be used to upgrade the holy light apocalypse array. Up to level 4, thinking about this, he decisively strengthened the little holy light apocalypse array. When the skill effect came out, Jiang Chen couldn't help but grit. On the basis of the original, skill range increased by 5 meters. The skill strength has increased by 50%. After all this, he was ready to return to the city, to see if anyone else is looking for trouble. As for the 2 bugs behind him, they can't threaten him anymore. After the 3 men left, the 2 reporters immediately set off for the battlefield, and then filmed everything they saw, and posted it online. After returning to the main city, Jiang Chen asked the 2 women to continue searching for the mission, while he took the Heart of Flame to find the city lord. When the city lord saw Jiang Chen coming, asked him with a normal face how much rock he had harvested. When Jiang Chen took out the Heart of Flame, the whole city was dumbfounded. At this moment, the lord of the city looked at the heart of the King of Rocks in a daze. He is truly an adventurer from another world. He is even more powerful than he imagined. Jiang Chen smiled and said, Lord Liu, I don't expect too much in return. Just give us each a mysterious transfer book. Upon hearing this, Lord Liu seemed unable to believe his ears. He really thought he was in a market. There are no 3 mysterious transfer books in the entire Jewel City. There should be 2. We paid a great price and made great efforts. Before he finished his sentence, the city lord slapped his forehead and said no. What the hell is this nonsense? A mysterious transfer letter, plus a growth potion for each person. In the light of the great dear city lord, hearing this reward, Jiang Chen couldn't help but light up with excitement, and quickly thanked the lord of the city. A moment later, he walked down to the castle with a satisfied look on his face. You know that the mysterious transfer book allows players to change their class to a hidden class. Growth potion can increase the percentage of experience gain. In the light of the main city not only adds 10 to all attribute, but also exempts you from the judgment of Jewel City once a day, which can be used to deal with those players with evil intentions. He sent a message to King Jing and Taxuyo, asking them to check the situation of the Tianting Guild. He didn't believe that Yan Lo would take such a big loss, and would let it go. Sure enough, after seeing Jiang Chen's first kill video, almost exploded with anger. He threatened to make them look bad in the main city. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's face turned cold. And I'll go meet them alone. On the other side, Yan Lo received the news. Jiang Chen left the main city square alone, and immediately ordered his men to take 50 brothers to take turns with him. He will bear all the losses. Little did he know that this was a trap set by Jiang Chen. He lured the Tianting Guild into an alley, and stood in front of them without fear. I heard you were looking for me. Seeing Jiang Chen's true form, Green Hair recalled. He was the priest who lured the boss to the Ashen Land. The priest who lured the boss. It seems that he deliberately lured the boss to his own trap. Upon thinking of this, Green Hair could not help but clench his teeth, without saying a word, and used a fireball spell. Seeing Green Hair take action, other union members also rushed forward. Jiang Zhe smiled. So eager to die? I'll use you to test the water. He then raised his staff high. The little holy light apocalypse array instantly activated. It sent the oncoming crowd back to the resurrection point. Green Hair was terrified before he died. What the hell is this? Jiang Chen sighed to himself. The player is indeed not a monster who can take a beating. It seems that I have to test the equipment and skills with wild monsters. Suddenly, he discovered that there was still a fish that had escaped. He heard the little goddess stammering. This is the main city. If I kill my guards, they won't let me go. Oh, really? I don't know if I'll die. But you will definitely die. Jiang Chen's staff glowed again, and sent Sha Demoja back to the resurrection point. At this time, the guards of Julu City also rushed over. The system prompts that the light of the main city is in effect. Do you want to waive this ruling? Jiang Chen thought for a moment and directly exempted. Then the guard's body trembled. It turned out to be Lord Fanchen. I apologize for the offense. Please forgive me. Although you bear the glory of Julu City, please do not repeat it. After saying this, the guard turned and left. After sending off the guards, Jiang Chen was ready to complete the task of changing jobs. He took out the mysterious transfer book and directly started the transfer mission. You have started the mysterious job transfer mission. The Scourge of the Red Flame. Please go to the Red Flame Valley to find the rebel soldier eating. Start the next quest. Seeing the task, Jiang Chen couldn't help but let out a sigh of surprise. I never thought it would be this mission. In a previous life, there was a rebellion in the Red Flame Valley, and the entire city of Lihu was destroyed. The war quickly spread to other main cities. In the end, the system issued a full server mission to defend the main city. This averted the disaster. This mission should be the system's response plan. But in the previous life, City of Fire would still. It seems that someone received the task, but failed to complete it. Just as he was thinking, the system suddenly issued a global announcement to all players. Moonlight Dance and seal the demon seal of Red Flame Mountain. Now open the full server mission. To repel the invasion of monsters. Jiang Chen was stunned. What's going on? There was no such mission in the previous life. It turned out that 10 minutes ago, female assassin, dancing alone under the moon, found a broken demon crystal. When he placed his hand on the crystal immediately made a cracking sound. System gave a warning. Warning: once the demon crystal is destroyed, will trigger a server-wide mission to defend against the invasion of monsters. Once the mission is triggered, a large number of monsters, and a few gold-level bosses, completing the mission will reward you with 50 free attribute points. If you fail, all attributes will be reduced by 50%. The woman kept thinking in her heart. The controllability of this mission is too weak. With the current strength of the players, even silver-level monsters need to work together to do their best. Not to mention the gold-level boss. At this point, she decided not to trigger it for the time being. To see if there is any way on the forum first. He had just opened the forum, saw the hot news about Jiang Chen and the others. Hot news about how to defeat the gold-level boss. He clicked on it and read. The woman couldn't help but have a huge shock in her pupils, and saw that someone had the strength to hunt down a gold-level boss. He also calmed down, and then picked up a Nepalese army knife, and slashed at the crystal. As the crystal shattered, the system immediately issued a server-wide mission to defend against the invasion of monsters. The crystal in Cheyenne Mountain Town was destroyed. 24 hours later, the seal was completely destroyed. Reward for the task: the more monsters you destroy, more generous the reward. Mission failure. All participating players will have their attributes reduced by 20%. At this moment, Tao Xiaoyu was a little unsure after seeing the mission. The reward is unknown. Failure will result in punishment. He asked Jiang Chen if he would participate in this mission. Jiang Chen thought for a moment. Although there was no punishment for this task in his previous life, but it was beneficial to him, and it could also be used to complete the job transfer task. Thinking about this, he let Tao Xiaoyu take on the task. Then he took off his gaming helmet and returned to the real world. Jiang Chen touched the stomach of the dog and thought to himself, it seems that I still need to get a gaming helmet. Otherwise, it's really uncomfortable to play games on an empty stomach. At this time, Ruyer suddenly walked into his room. He saw that Jiang Chen's room was actually lit up, guessing that Jiang Chen had already quit the game. So he specifically asked him to come out to eat, and offered to cook for him. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen smiled seductively, and joked, Sister Ruer, you think he is serious about this? Hearing this, Zia Ruer was stunned in place. But she quickly adjusted her state of mind, and told Jiang Chen that she can also satisfy a sister who wants to be non. Really not. Hurry up and eat. I don't want you to starve to death in my house. Next day, Qinjing and Tao Xiaoyue just went online. Were surrounded by other guild players, and they were all throwing out olive branches, inviting them to join their guilds. Seeing this, the two girls were shocked, their eyes turning into tree rungs. If I had known, I would have logged on earlier. Suddenly, Tao Xiaoyue looked in the direction of the crowd. Her face lit up with joy. The great god is here. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, stood in the crowd. Animals. What's going on? Jing told Jiang Chen the whole story with a look of helplessness. Told Jiang Chen, and complained that these people really had no eyesight. It's obviously Brother Fanchen. Jiang Chen told the two women to leave them alone, and now go with him to the city of Lihu. At this moment, Jiang Chen and the two women arrived in the city of Lihu through the teleportation array. Their purpose is the Red Flame Valley within the territory of the Lihu Sea. To get there, they must first pass through a desert of death. Players passing through must always be on the lookout for attacks by sandworms. If you are not careful, you will be sent back to the respawn point. Because of this, the difficulty of the task is greatly increased. At this moment, a large number of players have gathered in the Valley of Blazing Flame, while the task opener UXE is hiding in a corner, waiting for the appearance of the three players. Soon, the three of them appeared in the Red Flame Valley. Jiang Chen looked around at the scenery. He had never seen the fallen Red Flame Valley in his previous life, although the scene was much more spectacular than in the previous life. But it looked like an abandoned place. Suddenly, he realized that someone was following him. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold. Stop hiding. Come out. Hearing this, Moonlight had to reveal his true form. It's no wonder that the first kill team, they were able to find me in stealth mode. Seeing the person, Jiang Chen immediately recognized. He was the trigger for the full server mission. But he was a little curious why Yuexia was secretly following them. He only heard Meng Shawo say in a low voice. Cooperation. You should know. I am the trigger for the full server mission. I can share with you information. Information that has not been mentioned. But I have two conditions. First, let me join your team. Second, when carrying out the mission, she will be in command of the team. As soon as he said this, Jiang Chen and the other two were stunned for a moment. This silly girl. What good thing is she thinking about? He has a big face. Seeing that the three of them were unwilling to back down, explained under the moon. He didn't mean anything by it. He just wanted to complete the task successfully. Because in his opinion, under his command, the chances of winning would be maximized. However, he never imagined, even without intelligence, Jiang Chen was able to complete the mission on his own. Jiang Chen flatly refused him. So it, he panicked under the moonlight. Now the first kill team is his only hope. He quickly caught up with the three of them, and said that he could share information, as long as he is allowed to join the team. Hearing this, Jiang Chen stopped for a moment. But you must follow my orders. Tell me, what information do you have? Tell him the oath under the moon. There are 13 sealed doors on the mountain. 9 of them are bronze gates, 3 silver doors and 1 golden door. In order of strength, 1 seal is opened every hour. The first seal will open in half an hour. We must hurry there now. Listen. Upon hearing this, Tianjin couldn't help but roll her eyes. Listen, you have to figure out who is in charge of this team. Yuzia explained. He was just worried that if he went too late, and caused the whole mission to fail. Because after the seal is opened, not only will a large number of monsters emerge from it, but also overflowing with demonic energy. If you are contaminated by the magic, the player will not be able to recover health, and will be punished after death. After death, all attributes will be reduced by 10% for those who are infected with bronze magic. Silver magic reduces 20%, and gold level magic reduces it by 40%. Therefore, they must go there in advance to find a good spot. And there are scattered demon-repelling fragments throughout the Red Flame Mountains, which can temporarily close the sealed door. After the moon has finished giving all the information, Jiang Chen was not at all panicked. He asked him very calmly the location of the 13th seal gate. Upon hearing this, Thea showed a map, and said that he could take them there right now. However, Jiang Chen said that he was in no hurry. He has to deal with other things first. So, Yuzia was angry and gritted his teeth. After all that talk, you're not playing with me? But thinking about the full server mission, he swallowed his anger. He came to an old man, and asked if he knew a person named Yide. Hearing someone ask about the whereabouts of Yide, the old man told Jiang Chen, he is probably being taken to the dungeon in the Holy City. However, the mission prompt said that Yide was in the Chang Valley. But why did the old man say he was in the Holy City? Suddenly, Jiang Chen seemed to realize something, and asked the old man where Yide usually lived. Following the old man's direction, Jiang Chen came to Ding's residence. However, there was no one here. Jiang Chen knew that Yiding must be hiding here, since the mission told him to go to the Red Flame Valley. Then he was not caught, but is hiding here. As expected, he found the fugitive Yiding in the closet. Jiang Chen told him not to be afraid. He came to help you. Hearing this, Yiding finally calmed down. He handed a letter to Jiang Chen. He hoped that Jiang Chen would help him deliver the letter to Lisa, and tell him that he was wrong. He did not molest that woman. After Jiang Chen received the letter, the system randomly opened a new task. Go to the Holy Palace of the Red Flame, and give the letter to the Maid of the Holy Lord. Why sang? Jiang Chen then rejoined the team. Under the moonlight, I thought I could now participate in the full server mission. But Jiang Chen told everyone to get ready. Now going to the holy city of Red Flame. Upon hearing this, Yo Vishen's face turned cold. The floating mission is about to begin. Where are you going? You're not trying to trick me for information. Are you? Hearing this, Jiang Chen turned around and told him. The first seal is only bronze level. Whether you go or not won't affect the overall situation. He has more important tasks to do now. He then turned to leave. Suddenly, the moon flashed for a moment. He pressed the knife against Jiang Chen's neck, but Jiang Chen pushed him down with his back. A huge steamed bun collided with a small wooden stick. Under the moonlight, Jiang Chen was scolded by the red-faced Jew for being electric. Let go of me. Jiang Chen quickly let go of his hand, to show that it wasn't my fault. And in fact he was thinking that the touch was not bad. I don't have time to mess around with you. If you don't trust me, you can leave the Qing first. Jiang Chen then looked behind him with a fierce gaze. He said, have you two friends hidden over there seeing enough? As soon as he said this, the two of them appeared. The woman came up and introduced them as reporters from the network. I just happened to see your heroic appearance, so they couldn't help but want to observe. The male reporter who was traveling with them was stunned. She thought, you just said that the main character of our video is here. Beautiful women are all liars. When he saw the two of them, Jiang Chen also remembered. They were the two women who took photos of him in the Ashen Lands. The two women quickly explained that they just wanted to record some material. With no ill intent, Jiang Chen kindly expressed his understanding. Then, he mentioned that since we are so familiar with each other, it's okay for you to help me post an ad on your official account. Write that there is a treasure store on the first floor of the Julu City Mansion. There are gold-level equipment for sale. When he said this, the girl was stunned. After a moment, the two of them stood there with a look of grievance on their faces. They always felt that they had been taken advantage of. After all this, Jiang Chen was just about to go to the holy city of Red Flame to complete the mission. At this time, Yuthia reminded Jiang Chen, do you remember the full server mission requirements? Before the 9 cauldrons of demons are completely eroded, eliminate all monsters. I just received a system prompt that one of the 9 cauldrons is now being corroded by demonic energy. Hearing this, Jiang Chen was shocked. According to conservative estimates, there are tens of thousands of players participating in the mission. They couldn't even block a bronze gate. And the demon sealing cauldron is only 10 minutes away. He asked the moon, can other players receive this prompt? Boexia shook his head, meaning that only the mission trigger can receive it. Hearing this, Jiang Chen suddenly understood. Other players are killing monsters in the Red Flame Mountain, and did not know that the mobs were eroding the demon tower. He asked Boexia to temporarily leave the team, and then he would reunite with him after completing his mission. When they parted, Boexia suddenly blushed. Yes, Jiang Chen, will you not let me down? I'll be waiting for you at Red Rock Mountain. As soon as he said this, Jiang Chen suddenly felt something was wrong, and he sighed lightly. He sighed, exclaiming that it was quite tempting to be serious under the moonlight. Dingjing, on the other hand, was all flustered. If it weren't for Cao Zhaiyue stopping him, he would have already killed the woman who seduced Jiang Chen. At this moment, Jiang Chen arrived at the Holy Palace with a letter from Ding. After telling the guards that he was here to deliver a letter to Lisa, the guards asked a few people to wait here. He had to. Before a few minutes later, the guards returned. He let Jiang Chen enter the palace alone to deliver the letter, and kept Qingjin and Cao Zhaiyue outside the door. Soon Jiang Chen met the holy maiden Lisa. He reached out and asked Jiang Zhen, are you the messenger? Where is the letter? Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen was a little curious, and asked, you seem to know whose letter this is. Lisa took the letter, and said that except for Ding, no one else could possibly be the second person. But he didn't expect that Yiding actually had some skills, and was able to escape the pursuers. Then he looked at Jiang Chen with cold eyes. And what is the relationship between Yiding? Hearing this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but wonder. Lisan's attitude seemed to indicate that he had no feelings for Yiding, and only because he had delivered a letter for Ding. He had a murderous intent towards him. He hurriedly explained. He was just a messenger adventurer, which made Lisan feel relieved. But he gave Jiang Zhen another task. That is to kill Ding after returning. At the same time, Round pumps up. This task conflicts with the transferred task. If Yiding dies, the mission will fail. Jiang Chen suddenly felt a huge shock in his skull. What the hell is going on? But thinking about Lising's murderous intent just now, Jiang Chen still smiled and continued with the next task. And then, he returned to the Red Flame Valley as quickly as possible. He always felt this mission is related to the full server mission. However, when he passed through the courtyard of the Holy Palace, he suddenly noticed a withered jasmine flower in the garden. From his many years of gaming experience, this flower is out of place, should be a special prop of a certain character. At this point, he immediately dug up the flower, and he returned to the Red Flame Valley. He told Yiding about Lissing's request. Yiding looked at him in disbelief. He and Lysang had already secretly promised to be together for life. How could he possibly entrust someone to assassinate him? Hearing this, Jiang Chen was even more puzzled. Yiding seemed to be different from the one he saw. It turns out that a month ago, he had said goodbye to Lysang, and Lysang arranged for him to work at the Holy Palace. Yesterday, when he woke up, there was a woman in the bed. Then the guards rushed into the room and accused him of violating the woman and wanted to execute him. Hearing about Ding's past, Jiang Chen suspected that this was a conspiracy set up by Lysang. He thought of the previous life when the Holy Lord was bewitched by the demon, eventually causing the Red Flame Valley to riot, and Lissing's personality had changed drastically at that time. Jiang Chen suddenly realized something. He asked Yiding if he had seen anything strange in the Holy Palace. Yiding thought for a moment and said he had seen the withered sunflower in the Holy Palace, and he also mentioned it to Lysang. On hearing this, Jiang Chen immediately took out the sunflower he had just dug up. But the next second, the sunflower disappeared into thin air. Yiding took the bottle, and immediately felt a strange scent inside. He asked Jiang Chen to escort him to the snow-covered Lingting Mountain in Red Flame Mountain. He wanted to use the cold air there to offset the scorching heat of the sunflower, find out what the strange smell is. At this moment, Jiang Chen and the others are escorting Yiding to the kindling snowfields of Red Flame Mountain. But when they arrived at the Red Flame Mountain, they found only flames covering the mountains. There was no forest. There was no snow. At this point, a soldier stepped forward and asked everyone to wait a moment. Then he held up a mysterious magic circle in his hand. Next second, the surrounding scenery suddenly changed. Flakes of snow fell from the sky. A soldier slowly explained the origin of the snow in the kindling mountains. Jiang Chen then realized. It turns out that the snow in the kindling mountains was a gift from the young master of the city of Lihu, Yan Chengfen, used competitive magic to give his lover as a gift. And later, because his father was seriously ill, he had to leave here. Since then, he has never appeared again, and the young girl grew up step by step. The Holy Lord of the Holy Land of Red Flame, and used a magic array to hide this place. Jiang Chen also heard about it for the first time. That the Lord of the City of Fire had such a past. In his previous life, he had only heard. Yan Chengfen was a great demon master of ice and fire. It seems that the destruction of the Lihu city in the previous life was due to the blessings of this Holy Lord, and a soldier used magic, condensed the surrounding ice and snow into a snowflake. At this time, Cao Shaiyue suddenly spoke up. Just now, he received a message from the moon. Now every half hour, a seal will open. The fourth seal will open soon. According to the current trend, once the silver and gold doors are open, demon sealing cauldron will most likely fail. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen didn't waste any words. He told Yiding to purify the soil here and now. He will be back soon. And they immediately set off for the battlefield. At this time, the guards in the palace reported to Lysang. Jiang Chen had lingered in the garden for a long time before leaving. Upon hearing this, Lissing's face instantly turned dark. Cunning adventurer. It seems that I will have to meet him in person. He then levitated into the air. On the other side, all the players were retreating under the attack of the monsters. It seemed that the seal was about to be broken. At this moment, Jiang Chen and his two friends finally arrived. He was going to meet up with you first, and then move closer to the seal gate. At this moment, Yuexia, who is fighting the monster, received Jiang Chen's message. Exhaled a sigh of relief. You finally arrived. Thought you would wait until the last seal was opened. 4. Jiang Chen successfully met with the moon. However, as soon as he arrived, the system gave two consecutive prompts. The 5th and 6th seal doors are about to open. Jiang Chen was stunned when he saw the message. The seals have been opened. At this moment, the monsters suddenly launched a general attack on the players. Seeing this, Yuexia told Jiang Chen to avoid being killed by the monsters in seconds. Upon hearing this, Jiang touched his nose. It seems that he is being rejected. Then his staff lit up with a dazzling light. A healing spell flew out, directly killing the wild monster. Then, he turned and told Qinjing to pull the monsters together. Under the moonlight, he was about to stop the two of them, but was stopped by Cao Shaiyue. Qinjing rushed into the group of monsters and directly activated the disappearing armor. A swarm of mobs swarmed in. Jiang Chen was behind. Unleashed the Holy Light Apocalypse Array. In an instant, an arcane 6-pointed star formation spread out from under his feet. Next second, all the mobs were instantly killed. The whole crowd was stunned under the moonlight. Call this a nanny. This is clearly cheating. With the tacit cooperation of the two of them, the surrounding monsters were quickly dealt with, and the moon, who witnessed all this. His face was covered in cold sweat. Is this still a human being? However, Jiang Chen felt that this was too slow. He called everyone to leave. Let's go block the seal gate. Under the moonlight, he suddenly felt his worldview crumble. It was the first time he had seen a priest could deal explosive damage. Soon, the group crushed to the 5th seal gate. Jiang Chen came up with a healing spell and cast it. Although in the full server mission, only the gold level boss will drop equipment. But these mobs can provide a lot of experience points and credits. Soon, Jiang Chen's level reached 16. And King Jiang and Tatsuya also successfully reached level 15. At this time, Yuexia reminded the others not to be too happy. Beware of the evil spirits around the sealed door. Once you are exposed to the evil energy, will immediately enter a negative state. All life recovery effects will be disabled. And if they are killed by mobs, it will receive a 20% penalty to all attribute. At this point, Jiang Chen pointed to the black mist on his staff and asked if this under the moon, is it not demonic energy? It didn't feel abnormal. After hearing this, couldn't help but roll his eyes. These 2 points alone are enough to make ordinary players tremble. Can you not wear earplugs like that? He suggested that the team stay away from the sealed door to kill monsters outside the demon's aura. Jiang Chen said he would rather enter the sealed door to kill monsters. This is too slow. When he said this, Zia was suddenly dumbfounded. Are you kidding me? After entering the sealed door, once skilled, he will face an epic level of weakening. Jiang Chen said that these mobs can't kill him. He didn't give Yuexia the chance to refuse. Jiang Chen walked directly toward the sealed door. At this moment, in the snow-covered kindling mountain, Ding finally removed the scorching heat from the soil. Next, he just had to carefully determine the source of that strange smell. However, he did not notice. The illusionary magic circle behind him suddenly lit up. A pair of jade feet landed on the snow. Only now, Ding has only just noticed that there is suddenly an additional breath behind him. He thought it was Jiang Chen coming back. But when he turned around, he realized that the person was none other than the changed Liza. At this moment, Lissing's face was very gloomy. He raised his hand and locked Yiding in midair, and sealed his mouth with a chain. Without a word of explanation, kicked up the soil on the ground, and then teleported him out of the illusion. At the same time, inside the sealed door, Jiang Chen and the others stared at the figure blocking out the sky, and secretly frightened. Could this be the boss of the 5th seal? Jumping werewolf. At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly received the news that the soil had been taken by Liza, and the golden seal gate is about to open. 2 notifications. Jiang Chen was stuck. How can 2 missions come at the same time? And the same thing happened under the moon. He received a notification that the golden gate was about to be opened. He asked Jiang Chen what he should do now. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's eyes flashed with a cold light. Let's go out. Now they must hurry to the golden gate. He always felt that the 2 missions had set off at the same time. There must be some connection. If he had to choose, he would at least save the mission of the entire service first. Then the group rode non-stop, headed towards the golden gate. At this moment, outside the golden seal, a group of top-level guild bosses gathered here, all waiting for the seal to open. In the Heavenly Court Union, in order to avenge its previous humiliation, they have gathered all the union members here. This time they not only want to conquer the sealed door, but also make Jiang Chen and the others pay the price. Other players who are friendly with the Heavenly Court Trade Union remind Yang Wo. Silver-level monsters have caused the players to suffer heavy losses. You want to eat both of them? It's a bit difficult. Soon, Jiang Chen and the others arrived at the door of the seal. Yuzia whispered to Jiang Chen, even if you are very strong, the strength of a gold-level monster should not be underestimated. Jiang Chen smiled lightly, and said that he would not act impulsively. However, before he could finish his sentence, the chains outside the sealed door exploded. At the same time, a figure rushed into the sealed door. Upon closer inspection, it was the Holy Palace's Liza. Jiang Chen saw the person coming. Was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? He had a vague feeling. This Liza is related to the full service mission, and his own job transfer mission are inseparable. Thinking about this, he rushed straight to the sealed door. Genjin and Tatsuya saw this, and hurried to follow. Under the moon, they rushed. Everyone in this team is crazy, right? So he decided to follow them, and followed the 3 into the seal gate. When the other players saw the first kill team actually rushed into the sealed door, they thought they were crazy. But Yando was calculating in his heart, as the first team in the entire server, they couldn't be so impulsive. Maybe there was a reason they had to go in. Suddenly, an evil plan came to his mind. Plan. He wanted to use the demon, repelling shard he had found earlier, to temporarily seal the golden gate, poisoning Jiang Chen and the others' escape route. Other guild players also want to teach the first kill team a lesson, and followed suit, using the demon sealing fragment. silhouette lengthened. Says helplessly. Although he wanted to be friends with the first kill team, he could not offend everyone for them. He could only stand on a neutral position. In his opinion, Jiang Chen and the others had no chance of survival, and a demon-slaying fragment can temporarily seal the Golden Gate for 5 minutes. In just a short moment, the seal on the Golden Gate lasted 45 minutes. At this moment, inside the Golden level sealed door, Jiang Chen just entered and received a system prompt. Has been contaminated by the Golden Magic. Life recovery effect is reduced by 99%. After death, all attributes are reduced by 100%. At this time, seeing this, Jiang Chen's gaze was solemn. It seems that this mission will not be easy. Fortunately, compared to the last life, where he was fighting alone, this time he has a group of reliable teammates. He turned and reminded a few people to follow him closely. Soon, Jiang Chen found Lai Xing not far away. At this time, he was floating in midair, chanting mysterious incantations. He pointed forward with one hand. An arcane magic circle appeared out of thin air. At the same time, the eyes of the demon wolf beneath him turned red and became extremely agitated and held at the sky. Seeing this scene, even Jiang Chen couldn't help but narrow his eyes, unable to return to normal. And the beast uprising, it seems that this is more difficult than imagined. That's not all. Then the system said 9 prong. Because the player used the Demon Slayer fragment, the Golden Gate is temporarily closed. Jiang Chen's eyes hardened. It seems that someone wants me dead. Since there is no turning back, then I'll fight my way out. He then shouted at the 3 of them, listen to my commands. 3 of them also knew that this was no time to be casual. Their expressions instantly became extremely serious. With a loud roar, the monsters rushed towards Jiang Chen. Jiangka did not dare to be negligent. Staff in his hand burst into a dazzling light. The poisonous milk was thrown out as if it were free, and ordered Tao Zhaoyua to hide behind the tea. Using summoned beasts to hold back elite monsters, Qin Jing was responsible for pulling away the mobs that approached him, protecting him while casting spells. And Yuexia is responsible for clearing the monsters that have broken through Qin Jing's defense. Upon hearing this, Yuexia always felt like he was on a pirate ship, but he still did what Jiang Chen told him. He knew that this was not the time to think about these things. The most urgent task is to get out alive. With Yuexia's help, Qin Jing's pressure was suddenly reduced. Now he can concentrate on killing monsters. Suddenly, a golden light burst forth from the sword's body. He shouted, holy slash. The next second, a hammer flew to the feet of the moon. The moon was dumbfounded. Isn't he the yin-yang monster who follows the mortal world every day? Qin Jin thought to herself. Oh no, I accidentally revealed my true strength. Jiang Chen, however, just smiled. This girl has 2 faces. Does she really think I'm blind when I fight monsters? He then swung his staff and cast a spell. The magic circle rapidly spread out from Jiang Chen's feet. Then at the same time, he called Qin Jing to pull the monsters over. Upon hearing this, Qin Jing immediately unleashed his skill. Night Assault. Brother Fanqi, I've lured the monsters to you. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen raised his staff and activated the magic crystal ball. He brazenly activated the little holy light apocalypse. Under the blessing of the magic crystal ball, the surrounding wolves were instantly killed. Seeing the effect, Jiang Chen couldn't help but praise Qin Jing for doing a good job. Of course. Don't you see? Explained. Before he could finish his sentence. Qin Jing smiled sullenly. Oh no. I forgot my soft girl persona in my excitement. After the contact just now, Jiang Chen also realized that he was more than enough to kill ordinary magic wolves in an instant. So he decided to get rid of the elite magic wolves first. Suddenly, each demon summoned beast was surrounded and killed by the elite magic wolf. He anxiously shouted at Jiang Chen. My summoned beast is about to collapse. But Jiang Chen said that there was no hurry. There are still 30 seconds left on a CD for the Holy Light Apocalypse Array. 30 seconds away. At this moment, Magic Wolf suddenly pounced on Jiang Chen from behind. At the critical moment, Moon arrived in time and slayed the demon wolf. Is it okay? Shigu Jiang Chen laughed. Why don't you try it next time? Upon hearing this, Yuzia snorted in contempt. You really have a big mouth. But now the situation is like this. What should we do? This time, Jiang Chen did not respond. Instead, he grabbed Yuexia's waist. Yuexia was stunned. He was really confused. At this time, he still thinks about taking advantage of his mother. Jiang Chen's eyes flashed with blue light. And you ask me what to do next, and I'll show you. This is how it's done. The fairy spirit immediately possessed him, activating the skill. Flashing. The next second, the 2 of them appeared out of thin air next to Tao Zhaoyua. See how effective this operation is. At this moment, the girl's face turned red, and dared not look at Jiang Chen. I originally thought that Jiang Chen was just a pastor, but I didn't expect his strength to be even more terrifying than mine. Jiang Chen didn't have the time to think about love and affection. He told Yuexia to take some medicine to improve her condition first. Let him take care of the rest. As he spoke, a demon wolf opened its blood-filled mouth and flew at Jiang Chen from the side. Jiang Chen saw this, jumped into the air to avoid it, and a volley of poison milk flew out, and a scream was heard. The blood tank of the demon wolf was instantly empty. Injin, who was watching, couldn't help but feel a little bit of love. Brother is good, brother is wonderful. Brother croaks. After he landed, a group of demons will surround him again in an instant. Jiang Chen's face was solemn as he told Qinjing not to watch the show, and quickly blocked the shield. Upon hearing this, Qinjing knew that this was not the time to joke around, and rushed to Jiang Chen's side with his shield raised, and blocked all the magic wolves that were attacking Jiang Chen. And Jiang Chen took the opportunity to activate the Holy Light Apocalypse Array. With the cooperation of the two, with the two of them at the center, the magic circle quickly spread outward. In the blink of an eye, the surrounding wolves were cleared out. Jiang Chen took the opportunity to take a look at the checkpoint. The reward 4 points is quite generous. It was worth the effort he had put in. He turned to the 3 women and said, "Just be careful not to die. Just follow the rhythm from before." On the other side, outside the golden level seal, a group of union bosses were laughing at Jiang Chen and the others for being too arrogant. The wood is beautiful in the forest. The wind will destroy it. According to the time, the first team should be dead by now. Their eyes. The golden gate is filled with demonic energy. The first team to kill could never have reached the top of the golden gate. What they don't know is that the existence they can't touch was completely useless in front of Jiang Chen. At this moment, he had already cleared out completely. Jiang Chen gathered the team together. Now there is only one boss left, the golden level demon. Yalong, in addition to the 2 major damage skills, it also contains a subtle dragon bloodline. It can restore 1000 HP every second. In addition, Jiang Chen also noticed that Lai Sang had disappeared, but the mission item is still there. It seems that this boss is a must-fight. He told everyone to stay away. The boss's skills are not easy to avoid. And then he rushed along towards the dragon. When the dragon saw Jiang Chen coming at him, lifted his huge dragon claws, and was about to crush him to death. Jiang Chen immediately flashed to the back of the dragon. Poisonous milk and poisonous milk. The light seemed to be thrown out for free. The attacked demon dragon roared to the sky, and turned his head to spit a breath of dragon breath at Jiang Chen. The 3 girls in the distance shouted in succession, "Jiang Chen, brother, be careful at this moment." Jiang Chen kept dodging to avoid the compromise of the dragon, but he was still injured by the skill. Fortunately, he used the blue bar instead of the blood bar. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. After figuring out the dragon's attack pattern, Jiang Chen raised his hand and released the little holy light apocalypse array again. A series of blood loss prompts kept floating out. Next, all you have to do is slowly drain the blood bar of the demon dragon. And under the moon, watching the battle between the center of the battlefield and the demon dragon, Jiang Chen was secretly shocked. What kind of monster is this guy? The winged dragon was annoyed by Jiang Chen's movements, and immediately roared to the sky, and unleashed his skill, the winged windstorm. He waved his wings, summoned 3 huge storm tornadoes. Jiang Chen had no way to avoid it. He could only withstand the damage. But fortunately, he replaced the blue bar with the blood bar, and the blue screen and the Zilum effect. This is the only way to withstand the boss's damage. And Jiang Chen seemed to be throwing poison milk and poison milk rays at the demon dragon, constantly throwing poisonous milk and poisonous milk rays at the dragon. The man and the dragon spent a total of 20 minutes fighting each other. This time, the system suddenly prompted the effect of the demon-slaying fragment. The time has passed. The golden level sealed door is about to open. Jiang Chen knew that the time had come. He raised his staff and threw a super poisonous ray of light. Thus, the dragon roared in frustration. With a loud boom, it disappeared completely. Jiang Chen's level also increased by 2 levels, reaching level 19. In addition, there were also a large number of single-player and public point rewards. He added all the attributes he gained from the upgrade, all added to his intelligence. Now his strength is enough to kill ordinary players in a split second. Who were standing nearby exclaimed in succession. Even they have both reached level 18. "See you under the moon," he said to himself. It turns out that he is not qualified to talk about cooperation with Jiang Chen. Instead of staying to continue gaining experience, he seems to be more suitable for going it alone. At this point, he left the team and said goodbye to the 3 of them. Jiang Chen saw it in his eyes and thought to himself, this girl still has a temper. Forget it. Let him go. The most important thing is, Jiang Chen completed the transfer task and obtained the mission item. Next, he had to return the bottle to Eden. Now that the server-wide mission is complete, It's time to settle the score with a major guild. At this moment, many players outside the sealed door are confused, although the seal has been opened, but no monsters have come out. Could it be a bug? Just about to send someone in to check it out. Suddenly, a burst of demonic energy came out of the sealed door. At the same time, the sound of footsteps grew closer and closer and closer, and he looked closely. It was the trigger for the full-service mission. Yuzuya. And the demonic horror was the breath he had absorbed. Many players were amazed that he was still alive. Could it be that there are no monsters inside the door? Moonlight ignored the exclamations of the crowd and walked straight out. At this moment, Yanwo suddenly stopped him and asked him in a bad mood, why was he able to come out of the sealed door? And the trio that killed 3 people? He laughed under the moon. What? Why should I tell you? Yama stared coldly at the moon and said, you are tainted with demonic energy. You don't want to die, do you? And we have no ill will. We just want to know about the first team to kill. When he said this, under the moonlight, it seemed like he heard the biggest joke in the world. Laugh loudly. Bunch of riffraff. You want to find the first kill team? If you're so capable, go in and take a look for yourself. Upon hearing this, the younger brother of Yanwo's eyes were full of murderous intent. Then there's no point in talking, he said without turning his head under the moonlight. I have nothing to discuss with you. And then he released himself and continued on his way, and hid his body. Sailor thought that Uexia wanted to escape. Immediately activated his staff to release the skill. It's magic. But it was too late. Moon had already disappeared from the position it was in just now. The next second, Uexia appeared behind Baimao, and took out a string of blood-loss tips from Baimao. Sailor, his eyes were cold. Are you determined to be the Heavenly Court Trade Union as an enemy? I'll give you one last chance. Don't say you're dead. Under the moon, you are not afraid to say it. Then you can try it. At that moment, Jiang Chen slowly walked out of the sealed door. So many people. What kind of ability is it to bully a girl? If you have the guts, come at me. I'll leave here after I get my loot. This time the bus exploded to platinum grade. Contaminated magic dragon stuff. The dragon skull. Helmet was contaminated by demonic energy. It needs to be purified before it can be used. In addition, there is a 3-star skill book, and a platinum grade fusion gemstone, which can be used to fuse one piece of platinum grade equipment of the same quality. When he came out alive from the Golden Gate, all the players were stunned. Jiang Chen looked at the reactions of everyone. He thought to himself, it seems I can come out alive. It's really shocking. Jiang Chen looked at Uexia, who had come out ahead of time, and said to them, you just tell them. I'm in the sealed door, right? But Uexia looked displeased. Why did you come out? It doesn't matter if I die. If the whole server mission is not completed, it will be a big loss. Jiang Chen laughed. Of course, after completing the mission, I had to come out to settle the score. Jiang Chen secretly sent a message to Uexia, telling him to hurry up and enter the sealed door. It will be dangerous outside in a while. Yuzuya heard this and told Jiang Chen to be careful. There are too many of them. Can you hand a little home? At this point, Uexia suddenly paused for a moment, and then blushed, saying, don't die. Otherwise, I'll have to avenge you. Then he turned his head and looked down at the white hair. You're lucky. I'll let you off this time. Then he said goodbye to Jiang Chen. I'll be waiting for your good news inside the door. At this time, Yanwo walked up to Jiang Chen and questioned him. I didn't think you would actually come out alive. Where are the others in the team? Jiang Chen weighed the staff, then said nonchalantly that they were inside the gate. Why don't you go in and take a look? Upon hearing this, Yama left, and told Jiang Chen with a smug look, as long as you call out the knight and the summoner, I'll let you off. After all, you're just a priest. However, Jiang Chen was even more arrogant than him. They are both my teammates. How could I let them come out to die? Unless you kneel down and call me dad. As soon as he said that, immediately caused Yanwo to become furious. He pointed at Jiang Chen and yelled at him. A mere priest. Dare to play with me. You're asking for. Seeing that Yanwo was successfully provoked, Jiang Chen laughed. Do you want to fight? One is as good as another. You all come at me together. You've used so many demon-resisting fragments. You want to kill me. It should be more than just you. The Heavenly Court Guild. Upon hearing this, the leader of the Undying Mythic Guild stood out with disdain. It's enough to kill you too. Then, the two of them called on their respective union members to start. Players from the 2 major guilds all rushed to attack Jiang Chen. Threw countless skills at Jiang Chen as if they were throwing money. With a loud bang, a series of blood-draining prompts appeared above the smoke. Strangely enough, they were not killed. When the smoke cleared, Jiang Chen's figure appeared again. The player's concentrated fire attack only consumed 50% of his blood volume. Jiang Chen's eyes were cold. He raised his staff high, and brazenly activated the little holy light apocalypse array. In an instant, the magic circle covered all the players of the Heavenly Court Guild. When Yang saw this, his pupils dilated. He didn't expect Jiang Chen to have such a powerful skill, and Bai Mao had a bad feeling. He quickly shouted for everyone to run. But it was too late. All players covered by the magic circle were all killed by Jiang Chen in a flash. Yan Luo was filled with resentment. Aren't you a priest? How did you do it? Jiang Chen didn't pay any attention to Yan Lu's surprise, and threw a poison mel. It sent Yan Luo back to his hometown. After doing all this, he stepped on the giant blood nest that Yan Luo had fallen into, and looked coldly at the Dynasty Union in the back. Now it's your turn. Now he is setting his sights on the Dynasty Guild. The president stared at Jiang Chen with a serious expression, asking what he wanted. The Dynasty Guild has no grudges against you. Jiang Chen stared at him with cold eyes. During the war in the last life, the Dynasty Union colluded with the Foreign Service Union to eliminate domestic competitors. Colluded with the Foreign Service Union, directly destroyed a national service main city. Such a person is not worth dying for. Jiang Chen pointed to his head, and asked if his brain wasn't working properly. You just used the demon-slaying fragment, tried to trap me in the Golden Gate. Now you say you have no grudges against me. Hearing this, the president looked nervous and explained. The dynasty used the demon-quelling fragment. That's why we used the demon-quelling fragment. Not to target the first kill team. Now that it's come to this, why don't we each take a step back? Let's pretend nothing happened. You don't want to be enemies with the entire server guild, do you? Jiang Chen just waved his hand, and said it was impossible. Knowing the Dynasty Union, he knew it was a ploy to buy time. Sure enough, when all the members of the Dynasty Union were present, the president stood at the back and shouted at Jiang Chen, "You are too arrogant. The Dynasty Union is not something you can offend lightly." And he ordered the Union players to attack Jiang Chen. There have always been densely packed attacks. Swooped down on Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen, however, didn't even use his skills. He easily avoided all the attacks with his body movements alone. The little Gagas on the side were stunned by this. Is this the gap between the great gods and the rest of us mortals? After dodging all the attacks, Jiang Chen laughed. Dynasty Guild. Is this all you can do? Upon hearing this, the head of the Dynasty Union instantly went into a rage, and shouted for the soldiers to charge forward. He didn't believe that a crispy priest could withstand the siege of many soldiers. As soon as he finished speaking, a group of soldiers charged Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen smiled unfairly at this. Who wants to play melee with you? Then he and the Dream Fairy instantly merged, and activated the skill of teleportation. The next second, he suddenly appeared in front of the head of the dynasty. The chairman immediately wanted to escape from here, and it was too late. Jiang Chen instantly activated the little holy light apocalypse array, and instantly killed the chairman of the dynasty and all the members of the guild. Instantly killed. The onlookers were stunned. The national server god of war is actually an auxiliary priest. Is this the top player? At this moment, only Jiang Chen was left on the battlefield. Jiang Chen looked at the pile of weapons that the dynasty had drawn. He thought to himself, these weapons might be able to feed the magic crystal ball to platinum level. Yet this time, Feng Ling from the Post-Joshua Labor Union cautiously came behind Jiang Chen to show that they also used the demon-slaying fragment to follow the trail, hoping to reach a settlement with Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't want to cause trouble, and asked for 30 bronze equipment, plus a list of guilds that used the demon-quelling fragment, and the debt would be cleared. Feng Ling agreed without thinking. He then privately told Jiang Chen, major guilds involved in sealing, and another player named Last Night Stars. Jiang Chen sighed helplessly. It seems that there are quite a few unions that want me dead. He suddenly turned his head and stared in one direction, and said jokingly, Supreme Lord of the Realm, you're in such a hurry to leave? I don't know what I did to offend the president. He even wants to trap our team to death in the sealed door. Upon hearing this, the Supreme President turned around and smiled sheepishly. The great god of the mortal world is joking. How could I do such a thing? It's all because the kids in the guild are ignorant and messing around. Jiang Chen smiled and waved his hand. Don't talk nonsense. 200 bronze equipment. Our grudges are all settled. Upon hearing this, the Supreme President's pupil shrank slightly. 200 pieces of equipment. Then don't blame me for being ruthless. He smiled and said, 200 pieces is too much. How about 100 pieces? Jiang Chen was about to agree, but the other party suddenly activated a skill. Die. A blue light ball from the center of the brow of the Lord of King's Landing suddenly attacked Jiang Chen, instantly hitting Jiang Chen. Seeing Jiang Chen's blood loss prompt, the president of the capital city of King's Landing laughed. Is he finally dead? Onlookers condemned the Supreme Alliance for not following the rules of martial arts and for attacking in secret. The mortal god died like this. But some people found a hint of suspicion. Why did Jiang Chen's body turn into pieces after his death, while other players simply disappeared and returned to the respawn point? At a time when everyone was wondering, Jiang Chen suddenly appeared next to the Lord of King's Landing. Turned out that Jiang Chen had activated the effect of the Phantom Boots. Which can block a single attack. Saying it, his pupils dilated, and shouted, "Why aren't you dead?" Jiang Chen smiled. "Dear, your skills can indeed kill me, but I'm not a reasonable person. So goodbye." He then activated the staff, and the Holy Light Apocalypse Array instantly flew out, and sent the president of the kingdom back to his hometown. Jiang Chen looked at the silver grade equipment that the Lord of King's Landing dropped. He sighed. President of the kingdom is really a good person. He even offered such good equipment. Plus the bronze level equipment dropped by the two major guilds. Enough to upgrade his magic crystal ball by 1 level. He also knows. He had taken advantage of the poor information and high damage. Had the upper hand. The next time he faces a large guild, it won't be so easy. At that moment, the system suddenly gave a prompt. The remaining 5 sealed doors will open at the same time. After receiving the prompt, other players rushed to the battlefield. Jiang Chen was also taken aback by this. It seems that the Jade Dragon Guild can only be temporarily spared. For now, the priority is to complete the server-wide mission. And he turned to the sealed door and shouted, "You can come out now." Upon hearing this, the Kenjing trio slowly walked out of the sealed door. The 3 girls had seen the whole scene. Once again, they became Jiang Chen's little groupies. Jiang Chen looked at the moon, joked, "Are you still quitting the team? If you don't quit the team, then led the way. The other side is the resurrection point of the Fire City. Figure of the Prince of the Dynasty condensed in the magic circle." Fortunately, he took off all his equipment when he was fighting Jiang Chen, so he didn't suffer much damage. Hearing this, Yino will laugh. "Your dynasty guild has lost so many people, and you still say there is no loss. I'm really enlightened." Upon hearing this, the Crown Prince said with a smile, "If you have time to care about me, you might as well think about whether you have enough money to buy another piece of gold-level equipment. I heard there are gold-level armor for sale in the shops of Julu City." When he heard this, instantly hit the pain point of Yama. The angry Yama shouted at the figure of the prince, "Don't bother." Then he took the union members, returned to Julu City without stopping. This time, the golden armor must not be stolen again. At this moment in Julu City, a beautiful girl with pink hair was looking for Jiang Chen's shop. She is Jiang Chen's real sister. "So yeah, you are." After a while, she found the treasure pavilion according to the information given by Jiang Chen. She saw that Jiang Chen had already written, "Richman as his name." Xia Ruer thought to herself that this little brat is quite smart. He's already taken care of everything for me. Then let him know. Here, right? Then she sent a friend request to Jiang Chen. At this moment, outside the 7th seal, bronze level boss, the unicorn lizard, charged straight at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen saw this, raised his hand and cast a healing ray, directly reducing the boss's 10%. At volume, the boss under attack lost control and roared, activating his skills. He charged, and rushed straight at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen saw this, quickly activated his skill to flash, to dodge the boss's attack. Then a few shots of poison milk flew out. The 3 melon-eating friends watched Jiang Chen single-handedly fight the boss, enjoying the days of eating and waiting to die. A few minutes later, the boss dropped to silver-level moon-fist robe, and a cold iron greatsword. After Jiang Chen collected his equipment, called the 3 women to go. "Let's go to the next location." At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly received a message. "Player Rui has requested to add you as a friend." Jiang Chen's eyes lit up instantly. Could it be Sister Rui? He just sent a message to the other party to confirm his identity. Xia Ruer sent a message complaining, "My good brother finally accepted my friend's request. I'm at the Jewel City store. There are 2 rich guys who look dumb and rich. Asked specifically for the 2 gold-level equipment you were wearing. And the 2 people he was talking about are the president of the Heavenly Court, Yeno, and the president of the Imperial Court, the Crown Prince." Xia Ruer asked how much the gold-level equipment should be sold for. Jiang Chen was secretly pleased when he heard this. There are quite a lot of rich people these days. He told Xia Ruer to let them shoot themselves, as long as it's not less than 10,000 gold. After receiving Jiang Chen's reply, Xia Ruer smiled and said, and told the villain that the starting price was 10,000 gold. "What about the highest bidder?" Upon hearing this, Yanlo extended 2 fingers, and tentatively asked, "The magic blood armor and the frost staff. 20,000 gold in total." Ow! But he was laughed at by the prince standing next to him. He was a poor man. There are only 5 gold-level equipment in the entire server at the moment. "You want to buy 2 of them for 20,000. And immediately offered 25,000 gold. As soon as he finished speaking, the Supremo Iansu's Lord of the Realm suddenly walked. Upon seeing the person, Yanlo's face darkened, and asked him what he was doing there. The Lord of the Kingdom laughed. "Of course, he came to buy equipment." He can't let the Heavenly Court Guild have all the gold level equipment and immediately offer 28,000 gold. Yan Lu's face turned ashen. You guys are trying to make things difficult for me, aren't you? He immediately bid 30,000. Watching the group of big shots below continue to bid. Thea Ruya was stuck. He was really confused. So playing games can make so much money? He immediately sold the 2 pieces of equipment for 30,000 gold. Told Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen smiled sheepishly. And he gave him full responsibility for the shop. Now, he is now focusing on challenging the 9th Seal Gate. Bao Xiaoyu couldn't help but wonder. There is not a single player outside the 9th Seal Gate, although they bypassed the first 2 Seal Gates directly. But there should be players who have arrived here. Jiang Chen saw this. Couldn't help but frown. It seems that the 5 Seal Gates opened at the same time has put a lot of pressure on the players. Xiao also asked Jiang Chen what to do now. At this moment, the system sent another call. The 11th seal will be opened in 10 seconds. The 9 cauldrons of demon suppression are being attacked by demonic energy. After receiving the prompt, Yuzia's heart sank. It seems that the 9 cauldrons of demon suppression can no longer hold on. Then he asked Jiang Chen. The 9 cauldrons of demon suppression will fail if the full server mission is shown. So, what should we do now? Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen's face was sullen. He asked the 3 of them to go to the 3 battlefields to support the 9 cauldrons of demon suppression, while he alone would take on the 3 silver level bosses. Of the 3 women, Jiang Chen was most worried about Tao Jiayue. But as the #1 summoner in his previous life, his commanding ability should not disappoint me. Jiang Chen turned and asked, Tao Jiayue, can I leave the other battlefield to you? Tao Jiayue also knew that this was not the time to back out, and firmly promised that he would not let Jiang Chen down. At this moment, many players gathered outside the 9 cauldrons to resist the invasion of demons. But even if they do their best to kill the more monsters there are, it seems that the defense line is about to collapse. Some players even want to quit the game. After all, once they are infected with demonic energy and die, will be subject to a huge attribute penalty. At this point, a green-haired man put his staff in the mouth of the demon wolf. He shouted to the back, "Someone help me. The health bar is empty." As soon as he finished speaking, a long sword pierced the werewolf directly. Green Hair was about to thank the player who saved him, but suddenly noticed the peach demoness who appeared behind Xiao Ping's head. The other player saw the 3 and suddenly saw her, and shouted, "Big brother, help!" At this moment, each demon stared at the battlefield with a solemn expression. Since the great god believes in me so much, I absolutely must not disappoint him. He then shouted to the many players, "Everyone, follow my command. The long-range players on the right retreat to the demon-resisting key, and prioritize clearing nearby monsters to avoid contamination of the demon sealing key." Upon hearing this, many players followed Tao Jiaoreo's command, changed their formation. At this time, after hearing this, also ordered all the players in the guild to follow Tao Jiaoreo's command. This little girl has something. Knows how to make us retreat remotely. At the same time, each demon ordered all the fighters to form 2 lines. Those above level 15 as the first line of defense, and those below level 15 as the second line of defense. Ready to take over from the players in the front. The rear row of priests always pay attention to the front row's HP, especially the first row of fighters. Keep their HP above 80% at all times. After a while, many players lined up in formation. The dragon is in the sky. Watching Tao Xiaoyue methodically directing the battlefield, was secretly shocked. He is in charge of such a large battlefield and can see the big picture. He is definitely a rare talent for commanding troops. If he can find himself, the Union will definitely have an advantage in future team battles. He also knows, even with the addition of Peach Demon, the number of players is not high at the moment. I'm afraid it won't last long. Could it be that this time the full server mission really be in vain? On the other side, outside the 11th seal, Jiang Chen has already hunted down the second boss, 3-tailed fox demon. This moment, he was a little relieved. He never thought that this boss would be a long-range magic system. Once it appears on the 9 cauldrons of demon slaying battlefield, I'm afraid that all players will be wiped out in minutes. We must fight quickly. Leave him here. Thinking about this, Jiang Chen threw a beam of poison milk at him with a flick of his hand. The blurred, the angry cry of a young girl. Then, 3 tails condensed into 3 balls of ghostly wolf fire, and attacked Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen saw this and thought to himself, although he could dodge the attack by moving around, but it would take too much time. So he simply summoned the Holy Light Apocalypse Ray, and chose the most brutal way to fight back, and fight the boss. Until 10 minutes later, Jiang Chen successfully killed the 3-tailed fox, and obtained the golden level Star Moon robe and the unyielding one's wall. He then went full throttle, and went directly to the last seal gate. At this moment, The three women outside the 9 cauldrons of demon suppression gathered together again. Under the moon, Tasha Yua was reminded. The defense on the right has been breached again. Think of a way quickly. However, Tasha Yua said there was no way. This is the best solution now. If you want to break the game, there is a way. Tasha Yua commanded all the players to resist the invasion of monsters together. However, the number of monsters is 5 times that of the players. It is only a matter of time before the monsters break through the defense line. He knows that if he wants to turn the tide now, there is only one way, that is to do everything in his power to delay the enemy until Jiang Chen arrives. Upon hearing this, Yulong Qian's face was solemn. He said, I admit that Fan Chen is very powerful, but no matter how powerful he is only one person. Can you guarantee that after we delay him, can he definitely defeat these monsters? Tao Jiayua didn't even think about it. I could say it off the top of my head. Seeing his serious attitude, Yulong Qian decided to trust him again. She immediately turned around and shouted to the members of the Jade Dragon Workers Union. Bring out all your best skills. Hold off these monsters. For a while, many players were like they had been pumped up with adrenaline, launched a counterattack, but the number of monsters was too many, and were soon suppressed again. Some monsters even broke through the blockade and flew towards the last magic pot. Xiang immediately sent a message to Jiang Chen, asking him where he was. We can't hold them back much longer. The demon is about to break through the magic pot. If the last one is broken, it means the whole server mission will fail. All players will be punished for their attribute. At this time, the voice of Jiang Chen suddenly came from the battlefield. Don't worry, it's not over yet. As soon as he finished speaking, he appeared out of thin air above the demon ceiling cauldron. He was seen standing on the magic dragon, holding his staff high. The holy light apocalypse array quickly spread outward. Instantly, it killed all the monsters outside the demon suppression cauldron. Jiang Chen stood in the air, thanking everyone for their effort. Net, please give me your backs. Although I am a priest who cannot breastfeed, but I'm good at killing monsters. When all the players saw this scene, were overjoyed. Chen Shen really dared to do it. What's more, he even knelt down in excitement and directly worshipped Jiang Chen as the god of holographic games. He even trampled on the demon dragon to get to work. He can do this kind of thing. And Jade Dragon in the sky cursed him. Damn it. Let him pretend to be Qinjing and Tatsuyo. The two girls cried in pain. For the first time, they realized that playing a game can be so passionate. After Jiang Chen joined the battle, everyone seemed to see hope, and they all charged into the monster army. Half an hour later, looking at the corpses of the wolves, Zhao Zhayua finally let out a sigh of relief. It's finally over. Tenjing and Yuexia also said that after this mission was over, they would take a long rest. At this time, Jiang Chen came to the 3 women, reminding them not to worry and relax. It's not over yet. The boss of the last sealed door has not yet been cleared. He was on his way to hunt the boss. He received a distress call from Peach Demon and rushed over. But fortunately, the boss didn't show up on the battlefield. Otherwise, all the players in the server would have died. Upon hearing this, Yuzia couldn't help but wonder. After the mission is activated for the entire server, all monsters will move towards the demon suppression key. In theory, the boss should appear. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen decided to go to the Shar Th seal gate to take a look and find out. At this moment, outside the sealed door, a silver-level boss, the strange snake demon, was snarling at the front, and in front of him was a 4-person team. Several people stared at the snake with grave expressions. They thought the boss was very strong. They didn't expect it to be so strong. Now they can only try it with their heads held high. If that doesn't work, they'll use the quick potion to escape. The usher then prepared to attack the magic snake. On the nearby hill, Jiang Chen was watching the 4 people fighting the demon snake. It seems that someone has indeed gotten there first. But he wasn't at all panicked, because he knew this team is definitely no match for the demon snake. He can also take the opportunity to observe the moves of the snake. Sure enough, when the snake spits out its poisonous mist, the players in the team were unable to lock onto the snake, and could only watch as the snake healed itself. The most important thing is, they can't regenerate here, and the shields can't hold out for the whole time. The captain saw this and decided to withdraw from the battle. If this continues, they will eventually die here. Then he led for people to run away from the battlefield. Jiang Chen saw that they had left the battle. He called on the team to prepare to fight the demon snake. At this time, the 4-man escape team also noticed Jiang Chen and his men. They saw that Jiang Chen's team was also composed of the same members as themselves. They guessed that Jiang Chen and his men would also return empty-handed. At this time, the captain suddenly had a flash of inspiration and came to Jiang Chen to ask if they needed any help. After all, this boss is quite difficult to deal with. The equipment can be split equally, Jiang Chen his head, and only then realized that the other four were actually sword-wielding masters, Dion and Shaikao. All four of them were high-end players on the previous life leaderboard. I didn't expect that their ex-wife was actually on the same team. But are these future leaders of the rankings so familiar? Jiang Chen waved his hand and directly rejected them. Since you're not playing, please stand back, so as not to affect us. Hearing this, Shaikao's eyes suddenly widened in anger, and scolded Jiang Chen for being too arrogant. I think he was also well-intentioned. Was it really necessary to be so hostile? Engine was standing nearby, was unhappy. You guys obviously can't beat it, and you want to find someone to practice with, and then say it's not good to be kind. Listen carefully. Don't say. Shaikao laughed at the word. Threatened you should first look at the boss's information before you say anything. Don't get annihilated by the boss. Lose face? As soon as he said this, Jiang Chen's eyes flashed with murderous intent. If the four of you don't leave now, I don't mind sending you back to life first. Jiang Chen also frowned, explaining that Shaikao's temper is a bit quick, but he was telling the truth. We can step back. You shouldn't be so absolute. Maybe we still have a chance to cooperate. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen laughed and told them without turning around, don't worry, there will be no such opportunity. And he told Tao Zhaoyu and the others to stay here, to prevent the four from killing monsters, while he went alone to hunt the boss. The three women also knew that the other four had been eyeing the boss, and promised to complete the task. When Jiang Chen saw the attribute panel of the magic snake, he suddenly, immediately understood why the four of them had given up. It turns out that the magic snake has a combination skill. Poisonous fog and self-healing. If there is no high damage to crush, the snake wouldn't even lose blood. This moment, Hengqiu and the others still looked unconvinced. The mere priest wants to solo the boss. But the next second, they were shocked. Jiang Chen was seen holding up his staff, and just casted a healing spell, and consumed 3000 HP of the boss. The snake that was attacked flew at him in rage. Jiang Chen quickly dodged the attack with his body movements, and another healing ray shot out of his hand. The snake let out a long cry. The four people from the Hengqiu group were stunned. This is clearly the special effect of healing. And he is a priest. How could he hurt us more than we could hurt each other? At this moment, Hengqiu endured the shock in his heart, and said, it must be a talent effect. It's like Shaikao's healing technique, can be transformed into a shield through talent. Jiang Chen's healing technique can be transformed into damage. Jiang Chen, who looks so at ease fighting the demon snake, he laughed at himself. It seems that he is indeed qualified to refuse us. However, Shaikao did not think so. In his opinion, even if Jiang Chen's damage is high, he is still a crispy pastor. When the boss activates his combo skill to restore his health, it's all for nothing. As expected, when the magic snake released a poisonous mist, Jiang Chen was instantly trapped in the poisonous mist, and lost his bearing. However, before he could be happy for long, Xiao An told him to stop talking, and then looked at the front in horror. Look over there. At this moment, Jiang Chen was in the poisonous mist of the magic snake, and is not affected at all. He came to the side of the demon snake, and the staff in his hand instantly glowed with dazzling light. He brazenly activated the little holy light apocalypse array, directly dealing a critical strike. The snake screamed in pain as it looked up at the sky. Xiao Cheng was standing nearby, as if he couldn't believe his eyes. The priest simply has such a ranged skill. He must be cheating. Hearing this, Tianjing was unhappy. He mocked him for being a 250. If you can't do it yourself, you can't do it either. Xiao Chen wanted to argue with Qingjin, but Hengqiu stopped him. He turned around and said that we were too self-righteous. He should have received a skill book of a high level. This is the only way to deal with the damage. Otherwise, it would be impossible to have such high damage. He really has the ability to solo the boss. Hearing this, Shaikao finally understood. Shamefully, he turned his head to the side. While the others were arguing, Jiang Chen had already completed the first kill of riding the demon snake, and exploded the golden level magic light staff, and the dark knight dagger, and several pieces of silver level equipment. Jiang Chen saw this. Secretly pleased. He had really made a fortune. Not counting the mission points, there were 5 pieces of gold level equipment that had fallen. At this time, the system issued an announcement. The server-wide mission has been completed. The limited time points exchange shop will open in 10 minutes. Jiang Chen came to the 3 women, and told them the team's public point. You 3 can split it equally. Thank you for your hard work on this mission. Hearing this, the 3 women's eyes lit up instantly. Then we won't be polite. At this moment, Hengqiu suddenly came to Jiang Chen's front, and greeted him. Jiang Chen saw this, His eyes turned cold. This is because he didn't get the boss ready to run. As soon as he said that, he was suddenly scared and cold sweats ran down his back. He hurriedly explained that he just wanted to ask the silver-grade equipment that just appeared. What class is it? Can you sell it to us? Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen laughed. It turns out that he is a friend who came to give money. He then asked Heng Qiu how he was going to bid. Heng Qiu said with a flattering look, they can get a 10% discount on the market price. The deal was done. Jiang Chen didn't bother to introduce them one by one, and posted the various silver-level equipment directly. Heng Qiu was suddenly dumbfounded. Holy cow! Beta, are you a wholesale equipment? Jiang Chen smiled. Weapon 650. Jewelry 600. Want to buy? Heng Qiu bit his teeth and shouted, I'll buy it all. He kept telling himself in his heart, just think of it as spending money to make peace with the big boss. And also have good equipment. It's a good deal. This scene made Qinjing look dumb. His attitude has changed too quickly. After the deal was completed, Jiang Chen's mouth was almost to the root of his ear. It's true that people who can make it to the top of the rankings are rich. And like this time, Qinjing asked Jiang Chen where they were going next. Jiang Chen told them to go back to the main city first, while he was going to take a trip to the Qinling Snow Mountains. Upon hearing this, Qinjing and Taksuyo expressed they would go offline and take a nap first. Yuexia told Jiang Chen he still has things to do, and left the team. However, he still had some questions for Jiang Chen. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen was dumbfounded. The mission is over. What else do you want to ask me? He saw Jiang Chen under the moonlight, and asked him with a blush on his face. I want to know, do you have a girlfriend? Jiang Chen was stunned when he heard this, and then suddenly thought of Sister Rui. Jiang Chen quickly shook his head. It's a sin. Why did you suddenly think of Sister Rui? His face turned red under the moonlight, and asked Jiang Chen if he. Jiang Chen said with a puzzled look, not yet. Asked what he wanted to do. The corner of her mouth twitched slightly. Just asking. I'm leaving. But next time we meet, I won't hold you back anymore. He then said goodbye to everyone. Jiang Chen, on the other hand, headed alone for the snowy Qinling Mountains. Soon he was back at Yiding side. Yiding sighed helplessly, and told Jiang Chen that the soil had already been taken by Lisa. Hearing this, Jiang Chen handed the soil to Yiding from behind, and told him that the soil had been recovered. Yiding's face lit up with joy. As long as he has the soil, he will soon be able to unlock the secrets of the soil. He saw the cold air between his hands constantly condensing, gradually forming a snowflake. Jiang Chen smiled. He can use this. Time to look at the full-service missions point redemption store. And he opened the store panel. He was stunned. He sighed. The gods are really generous. In addition to various levels of weapons and equipment, and a skill book of a star level, there are also attribute pills that can enhance for attribute. And the first one only costs 10 points. Jiang Chen didn't even think about it and bought them all, because he knew this kind of attribute pill will definitely be sold at a sky-high price in the future. In the real world, the rich cannot necessarily get one even if they go bankrupt. He then bought another piece of gold-level equipment, 3 teleportation stones and various skill stones, and various sealed skill books. Then, he used all the remaining points to exchange for gold coins. Just then, Yiding also cleared the scorching heat from the soil. Jiang Chen asked him what he needed to do next. Yiding pointed to the ground, and created an arcane magic circle. He tried to use the magic circle to force the abnormal scent out of the soil. After a while, a black mist floated out of the soil. He sensed the scent inside. Yiding shouted in his heart, this is the breath of the demon god. As soon as he said that, Jiang Chen instantly remembered his past life memories. The disaster that happened in the Red Flame Valley in his previous life was related to the demon god. Yiding's gaze was solemn. Now he wants to recreate the scene with the magic circle. In this way, he will know what happened at that time. Soon a figure appeared in the black mist. It was Lisa. She was crouching on the ground, looking haggard, mumbling why I was tardy. Tears fell from the corner of her eyes, and fell on the sunflower. Suddenly, a strange figure appeared behind him, yelling at him. This slowly human, there to break free of my control. Seeing this scene, Jiang Chen also realized. It seems that Lai Shang has been possessed by the demon. Even her soul was possessed by the demon. With the controlled, at this time, Ding fell to his knees with a thought. Controlling the soul and possessing the body. These are all the devil's tricks. Holy Palace has been infiltrated by the demon. He then turned to Jiang Chen and asked him to be sure to bring some soil. To go to the city of Li Hu and find the Lord Yan Changfe, and tell him about it. Jiang Chen also knew that the situation was urgent. He was ready to leave immediately. But just then, a demonic voice came from behind them. The next second, the space around them was instantly blocked. No one is allowed to leave today. Anyone who dares to spy on the demon's secrets will die. Then, suddenly, Lai Sheng appeared from behind, blocking the entire space, preventing Jiang Chen from leaving. When he saw the person coming, Yiding was shocked. Jiang Chen stood in front of Ding, reminding him that he had been controlled by the demon. She is no longer the Lai Sheng you know. The demon god asked Jiang Chen with a gloomy expression. Didn't you promise me that you would kill Yiding? Why haven't you done it yet? Jiang Chen's face was solemn. The space is now sealed. It seems that in order to complete the task, you must fight him. Jiang Chen raised his staff, in a state of high alert. I promise, Lai Sheng, not the demon god. Hearing this, the demon cheese, saying that it was him that he is me. As soon as he said that, immediately caused Ding to become extremely angry. He shouted at the demon not to humiliate Lai Sheng's body anymore. Lai Sheng is gentle and kind, and you are nothing but a thing without a body. Upon hearing this, the demon's body was enveloped in black mist. Glared at Ding. You have ruined my plans again and again. It seems that you must die today. But just as he was about to do it, Lai Sheng's soul suddenly flew out of his body, attacking the demon. But the demon was relentless. It was because of this guy. Lai Sheng had managed to break free of his control several times. In his eyes, only by killing a little one, Lai Sheng would listen to him. He formed a mysterious magic circle spread out from him. At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly received a mission prompt. If Yiding dies, the mysterious job transfer mission will fail. Please take action immediately. Jiang Chen's pupils dilated when he heard this. He must not be allowed to complete the seal. But the demon god is so confident in front of him. It should be impossible to interrupt the seal. And there is only one way. Jiang Chen immediately shouted at Lai Sheng's soul. Interrupt him. The demon laughed after hearing this. Adventurer, you're a priest, not a flame spirit. How could I? However, before he could finish his sentence, Lai Sheng's soul rushed directly to the demon god. He then realized that Jiang Chen was talking to this bit, and his spatial blockade was also broken by the interference of Lai Sheng's soul. Lai Sheng shouted at Jiang Chen and the two of them go. You two go. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen nothing, and ran out of the secret realm with Ding. However, at this time, Ding patted Jiang Chen on the shoulder, and told him that he knew a magic circle that can teleport directly to the city of Liheng. Soon, the two of them arrived at a broken magic circle. He told Jiang Chen, this is the teleportation array from 100 years ago. The teleportation array between the Red Flame Valley and the City of Fire, and immediately began to repair the magic circle. Jiang Chen was a little surprised to see this. You can even repair the teleportation array. Yiding explained. He had done some work on the teleportation array. Had repaired the teleportation array. Spell formation was repaired in the blink of an eye. He put a crystal into the magic circle, and then told Jiang Chen to hurry up and get in. Jiang Chen asked Yiding to leave. What are you going to do? Yiding smiled helplessly. Crystal was actually a gift he was going to give to Lai Sheng to propose to her. Only one person can pass through the teleportation array. Now that his mission is complete, I can only leave the rest to you. And I should go back to be with Lai Sheng. Jiang Chen also knows the situation at hand is urgent. He promised Yiding that he would return as soon as possible. Soon he arrived at the city of Hu, and found the city lord Yan Chengfe. Jiang Chen placed the soil on the table, and anxiously said that the Red Flame Valley had been infiltrated by demons. The situation is critical. Hearing this, Yan Chengfen was shocked. I can feel the demonic aura emanating from the soil. Yan Chengfen knew that Jiang Chen was not lying to him. He raised his hand and threw out a scroll. Now he must hurry to the Red Flame Valley. Jiang Chen was shocked when he saw it. He didn't expect Yan Chengfen to have the artifact, the world teleportation map, and send the holder to places he has been to. At this time, Yan Chengfen asked Jiang Chen where the demon god was. Jiang Chen immediately replied that it was in the snow-covered Kinling Mountains. Hearing this place name, Yan Chengfen was stunned. He never thought he would ever go back to this place in his life. Then he pointed to the map. Next second, the two of them were transported to the Kinling Snowy Mountains. When they arrived here, Yan Chengfen realized that it had been hidden by a magic array. Jiang Chen suddenly felt a sense of regret. This place was the parting gift that Yan Chengfen gave to the Holy Lord of the Red Flame. I never thought that I would revisit this place for the sake of the demon god. But then again, he came back again, and didn't find Ding and Lai Sheng. Yan Chengfen couldn't help but look at Jiang Chen with doubt. He didn't feel the presence of the demon god here. Are you sure the demon is here? Jiang Chen wiped the bloodstains on the ground. He thought about when he left. Ding had said he would come back to stay with Lai Sheng. If the plot of the previous life also went this way, and no one triggers the mysterious job transformation, there would be a riot in the Valley of Red Flame, and the source of the riot is the Holy Palace. Thinking about this, he immediately told Yan Chengfen of his thought. Upon hearing this, Yan Chengfen's face fell. He didn't expect the demon god to believe in the Red Flame Holy Palace. Without further ado, he grabbed Jiang Chen's shoulders, immediately teleported to the Holy Palace. After the two of them successfully teleported to the Holy Palace, Yan Chengfen immediately sensed the breath of the demon god. At the same time, Aizen was preparing to return to the palace. At this moment, he suddenly felt a familiar scent behind him. He turned around and said angrily, "You dare to follow me to your death? Then I will grant you your wish," he said. With his 5 fingers forward, the thick black mist shot out, and his target was Ding, who was hiding behind a tree. Yiding saw this, was suddenly shocked. He saw the black mist about to hit Yiding. At the critical moment, blue energy instantly dispersed the black mist, and Yan Chengfen shouted, "How dare you intrude into the Holy Palace?" And at the same time, he rolled a spiral pill with one hand. Ding saw this, immediately shouted, "Please don't kill Aisai. He's just possessed. He's not a villain." Daring Yiding's plea, Yan Chengfen manipulated the spiral pill, and suddenly shot out a laser skill to exhaust her. While hitting Aisai, he expelled all the evil spirits in his body. Yiding immediately went forward to help Liza. Changfen told Yiding he had deliberately left away from Lysen to survive. Whether he could wake up depended on whether the gods favored him. At this time, the evil spirits that had been driven out had mysteriously turned into a human face, and said ominously, "You people who have ruined the demon god's plan must die." Then, a figure gradually appeared from the black mist. Yan Chengfen saw this. His pupils dilated. For such an ugly spirit, is it really worth giving your body to the demon? The figure laughed, mocking Yan Chengfen for not knowing how to appreciate. This is the spirit body bestowed upon him by the demon god, the most beautiful existence in the world. Hearing this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but cover his forehead. Has this guy been KFC'd by the demon god? You should see a psychiatrist. But what Jiang Chen never expected was, when the monster's figure gradually solidified, he was directly disgusted by the hideous appearance. Jiang Chen grabbed Yan Chengfen and said, "The city lord is in your hands. I'm afraid I can't fight him." However, Yan Chengfen said he could not help. Jiang Chen then looked up and stared at the air, because there was another figure in the air. It was the Holy Lord of the Red Flame. At this moment, he also looked down at Yan Chengfen below, and said, "Your opponent is me." Jiang Chen cried. He stared at the figure of Yan Chengfen as he laughed. "What? Are you sure you're not messing with me? This ugly thing is not straw. But it's so irritating to the eyes." At this moment, the demon god was roaring and rushing towards Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen looked at the demon rushing towards him, his eyes filled with disgust, up screaming, "He's just a demon worshipper. I've even killed a demon god before." As he spoke, the staff in his hand glowed with the dazzling light. Then a stream of poisonous milk shot out. Next second, a blood-sapping reminder appeared on the top of the demon's head. The demon god who was attacked roared to the sky. He cursed Jiang Chen for being too despicable. At the same time, he rushed to a position 10 meters in front of Jiang Chen. He raised his hand and condensed a ball of black energy, and threw it at Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen didn't have time to dodge. The black energy hit Jiang Chen. Fortunately, the demon's attack was not real. He can use the blue bar to offset the damage. This also completely calmed Jiang Chen down. Then he pointed his staff forward. A concentrated healing ray shot out from the staff, and directly blasted the demon god. The demon god's 3 heads screamed in pain. "Human, you have angered me. I might tear you apart." And his 3 heads unleashed their skills on Jiang Chen. So shocked, an invisible sonic attack rushed toward Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen smiled at this, because the damage of the soul shock has a 2-second delay, which is enough for him to get out of the attack range. And his little holy light apocalypse formation was just outside the demon's attack range. Cover the demon god. When Jiang Chen stepped out of the demon's range of damage, he raised his staff, instantly releasing the holy light apocalypse array. For a moment, the demon received continuous blood loss reminders. Watching the demon god struggling in the magic circle, Jiang Chen couldn't help but frown. He sighed. The demon's aesthetics are really ugly. It seems that the battle needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Otherwise, his own spirit is prone to collapse. Hearing this, the demon god was angry and resentful. "How dare you say that the body bestowed by the demon god is ugly? Ugly human, die!" As he spoke, he unleashed his skills once again. So shocked, Jiang Chen has always been standing outside the range of the demon's attack, constantly mocking the demon god. These days, even the boss can't listen to the truth anymore. Maybe in the demon's aesthetic sense, you're quite good looking. 10 minutes later, The demon's avatar is reduced to 1% of its original health by Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen raised his staff, just about to give the demon a final blow. At that moment, the sky suddenly broke. A powerful attack of demonic essence fell on the boss. Jiang Chen saw this. Suddenly his heart was shocked. He turned his head to the sky and cursed Yang Chengfen. What the hell are you doing? Yang Chengfen in the crack was embarrassed and scratched his head, indicating that he had not expected the space to suddenly break, causing the element energy to overflow. However, Jiang Chen was in a rage at this time. He was about to kill the boss. Unexpectedly, an NPC snatched the handbrake from him. Yang Chengfen landed on the ground with a guilty conscience. He told Jiang Chen to relax, and would definitely compensate Jiang Chen afterwards. Jiang Chen lost his temper as soon as he heard this. I feel that the world teleportation map is pretty good. At that moment, the Holy Lord of the Red Flame suddenly spoke behind him. This young man is quite like you back then. Hearing this, Yan Chengfen's eyes turned cold. She as smart as me? Hearing this, seemed to hear a big joke. Laugh. You're not as brazen as I. You quick to climb the ladder. As soon as he said this, Yan Cheng immediately felt resentful and asked him where he got that idea from. Feeling the subtle atmosphere between the two of them, Jiang Chen could not help but break out in a cold sweat. You two old lovers are fighting. Can you not harm the innocent? Then I should told him what happened that year. Your ancestor at the time ignored the opposition of the Holy One and the lives of the people of the Red Flame Valley, insisted on sealing the demon animal here. Isn't that shameless? And you are his descendant. But you also accepted it as a matter of course. Isn't that shameless? Hearing this, Jiang Chen's whole body went numb for a moment. Jiang, he really is shameless. Yan Chengfen said, if his ancestors didn't do this, then whether it is the Red Flame Valley or the nearby main city of Lihu would be in a state of chaos. Hashem mocked him for being so righteous. But why should the people of the Red Flame Valley bear the cost? Asha became more and more agitated as she spoke, because the demon god Eni is sealed here, resulting in the nutrients of the Red Flame Valley are all used to support the sealing ring. That is why the land is becoming more and more barren. The most disgusting thing is, in order to prevent this from being revealed, you even destroyed all the teleportation arrays in the valley, and even set a forbidden spell, making this place a land of artifacts, so that all the people of the Valley of Red Flame never see the outside world. As Aisha's hatred grew stronger. Since the gods have abandoned me, then I will join forces with the demon to break this artifact land. What is wrong with that? After hearing Aisha's anger, says helplessly, he could not comment on the actions of his ancestors, that he knew. To be in league with the demon god is like quenching one's thirst with a pigeon's blood, and he has been searching for a solution in the Valley of Blazing Flame. Upon hearing this, so left. Do you remember that you promised to take me to see the snow? You thought you would really find a way to solve the suffering of the people of the Red Valley, but you only left behind an ice spell. And then you left. Jiang Chen, who was eating melons on the side, became more and more shocked as he listened. It turns out that the romantic love story that Ding Ding told is actually this version. Yan Chengfen closed his eyes in pain. I'm sorry for what happened back then. No matter what, I can't let the demon get off track. I should drew her sword in the... Yan Chengfen is still so naive. There is no point in talking. Today, you and I will settle this once and for all. He then rushed at Yan Chengfen with his sword in hand. Jiang Chen was shocked by this scene. He didn't expect that the Red Flame Holy Lord was a sword set professional. On the other side, Yan Chengfen raised his hand, summoned a blue-red light shield, blocking Aisha's attack directly. At the same time, he warned Aisha that if she continued to be so stubborn, I will have to kill you myself. After you die, I will resign from my position as Lord of the City of Fire, and go to the Kingdom of Heaven to be with you. As he spoke, two energy balls of red and blue condensed in his hands. Jiang Chen frowned when he saw this. Dual elemental ice and fire spell. Once this thing is released, I'm afraid the entire Red Flame Valley will be affected. Jiang Chen then ignored the transformation and yelled at Yang Chengfen. Family is shameless. Your ancestor trapped the Red Flame Valley disciples in the valley. You were even more ruthless than your ancestors. You want to wipe out the Red Flame Valley. Hearing Jiang Chen's words, Yan Cheng could not refute. Because Aisha is very strong, he couldn't let Aisha release the demon god. This was his only option. Afterwards, he would atone for his sins with his life. At this point, Aisha once again attacked Yan Chengfen and told Jiang Chen that this had nothing to do with you. A disciple of the Red Flame Valley. Man, even if we die, I don't want to live like this anymore. Jiang Chen saw that both of them were so stubborn, was extremely helpless. He had no choice but to close his eyes, rushed between the two and shouted, Wait, Stop fighting. I have a solution to your problem. Let the light shining here again. Upon hearing this, Xia was stunned, and asked Jiang Chen what he could do. Yan Chengfen also turned around, and said with a puzzled expression that this kind of thing cannot be said casual. Jiang Chen shrugged, and started to complain. The reason why this place has become a land of artifact is because the demon god loves you. If that's the case, just kill him. Right? Upon hearing this, Aisha's face suddenly turned cold. Nini is the body of the demon god. Immortal? Only a seal can prevent him from ever emerging again. Yan Chengfen also smiled bitterly. There is no way they can kill the demon god. But I can't. Give me 2 years. I will kill the demon for you. As soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Chen triggered a special system mission. Signed a contract with the gods. Tell the demon any. If you fail, the player's soul will remain in the Red Flame Valley for eternity. Reward for completing the quest world map. Once the contract with the gods is established, will be protected by the gods and cannot be changed. Please choose carefully. At this moment, Yan Chengfen's eyes widened. He suddenly thought of something. He said to Jiang Chen, "It is said that you adventurers come from the home of the gods. I also believe that you have unlimited potential. Then are you willing to swear by your soul? Make a pact with the god?" At this moment, Jiang Chen swore on his chest. Jiang Chen, adventurer from another world, swears by his soul. If he fails to kill the demon god's soul within 2 years, he will never be able to leave the Red Flame Valley for eternity. After all this is done, Jiang Chen let out a sigh of relief, and then asked Taisha if they could stop now. Just saw this. Says helplessly, and had to agree to stop for the time being. But if he fails to complete the contract after 2 years, he will still make the same choice. At this point, Yan Chengfen added, he will also try his best to find other ways in the next 2 years, hoping that he and Aisha would not come to a military confrontation. That night, after hearing this, his face fell. Wait until you've done it. But before that, he had one more request. That is to repair the teleportation array in the Red Flame Valley. Although the people of the Red Flame Valley are affected by technology, cannot leave the Valley of Red Flames, but as long as there are magic crystals, they can communicate with the outside world. Life will gradually get better. Yan Chengfen was at a loss for a moment. He planned to return to the capital and discuss it with the governor. Hearing this, Jiang Chen secretly thought, "Back to the main city so soon? What about my transformation?" Thinking about this, he couldn't help but cough away. To remind Yan Chengfen, Yan Chengfen instantly understood Jiang Chen's meaning. He told Jiang Chen to calm down, and then looked at Aisha. This matter can be resolved. Immortal power is indispensable. Can you open that place? Upon hearing this, Aisha looked at Jiang Chen with a mysterious smile. Since he has taken us so long, then I really have no reason to refuse. And he turned around and told Jiang Chen to follow him closely. At the same time, the system prompts that the transformation has been complete. Please go to the Red Flame Holy Palace to receive your reward. Jiang Chen saw this, couldn't help but smile. No wonder no one in the previous life could complete this task. It had to be. Aisha placed her sword in the statue's hand, and the statue glowed with a faint light. A transparent spatial door slowly opened in front of the statue. Aisha turned to Jiang Chen and said, "Go in." When he stepped into the space portal, the scene in front of him suddenly changed. Jiang Chen looked around curiously. This temple seemed to be different from the Temple of Light of the God. Hearing this, Yan Chengfen looked forward, his eyes filled with admiration. It turns out that this is the ancient Temple of Light. Was established by the founding. The current Temple of Light was only founded by the God of Light, and before the God of Light became a god, was also just a god of the ancient Temple of Light. After hearing Yan Chengfen's explanation, Jiang Chen was surprised. The ancient Temple of Light is really high-end. Soon, a few people came to a huge statue of the founding god, and behind him were 6 smaller stone statues, corresponding to the 6 hidden professions of the priest. They correspond to the 2 main directions of hidden profession. One is the direction of the high priest, who focuses on healing, and the other is the direction of the judge, who focuses on judgment. Jiang Chen put his hand on the crystal ball in front of the creator god. Start the ritual of changing jobs. He told Jiang Chen, after the ceremony begins, the sages will test you. If you pass the test of any of the sages, you will be able to obtain the corresponding hidden profession. If you pass all 6 tests, you can choose any of the 6 hidden classes. At this point, Yan Chengfen interrupted Aisha's speech. He told Jiang Chen, "Listen to him. So far, only the current Pope of the Holy Light Temple has been recognized by the 6 sages." Hearing this, Jiang Chen's body suddenly trembled. Is that the old pervert who is invincible among the gods? In his previous life, it was said that he could have become a god long ago. If it weren't for spreading the faith, he would have been able to obtain the position of a god. At this time, Aisha took out a divine stone and handed it to Jiang Chen. He told Jiang Chen, "This is the only item that can be used in the transfer ceremony." Jiang Chen looked at the item description of the Mind Stone with a puzzled look. What does it mean that the only item that can be used? Usher reminded Jiang Chen, because once the transfer ceremony begins, all equipment and skills will become invalid. You can only rely on your basic attributes. Jiang Chen heard this, immediately shuddered. What a pervert. But since he is already here, he would not give up easily. He then placed his hand on the crystal ball. The crystal ball glowed brightly for a moment. A dazzling white light gradually covered Jiang Chen's entire body. After Jiang Chen started the mission to change jobs, he found himself in a vast sea of stars. In front of him, a huge priest transformation tower appeared. Jiang Chen looked around in a daze. This space is similar to the environment challenge. Both are consciousness entering. Then he checked his attribute panel. Sure enough, except for the basic attributes, all other equipment enhancements have disappeared. Fortunately, the talent of reversing yin and yang was still there. The moment he landed, a faint voice rang out in the space. Please enter the priest's career tower to take the test. When he stepped into the first square, a wooden warrior appeared beside him and received the quick heal spell and the beginner's wooden staff. At the same time, Jiang Chen discovered that the quick heal spell can use yin and yang reversal. It seems that this level tests the essence of a priest. This talent can be used. It must be a trap. At this moment, Jiang Chen was. There was another identical wooden man. The system prompts that the test will end once a teammate dies. Jiang Chen was glad that he was smart. Otherwise he would have been eliminated right away. Then he waved his staff forward. Old wood, I'll heal you. And the two wooden men began to fight each other. Jiang Chen watched as the old woodman's blood continued to drain away, calculating the time to add blood. Because every time you use a healing spell, it will increase your blood by 150. In order not to waste the blue bar, Jiang Chen only activated the healing technique when old wood had consumed 150 HP. He activated the healing technique. That's it. One person and one wood cooperated to climb down to the next level. At this moment, in the ancient Temple of Light, Aisha looked at Jiang Chen's back and was not only puzzled. It's been a while since I entered. Why aren't any of the statues of the sages lit up? Then Chen Fen, who was standing next to her, assured her. Jiang Chen is a priest, was able to kill the followers of the demon god with his own strength. His talent must be extremely rare. Upon hearing this, Aisha looked at Jiang Chen again. But his talent has not yet been recognized by the sages. I find it hard to believe that he can kill the demon god Enri in 2 years. Hearing this, Yan Chen couldn't help but sigh. But now they can only believe in Jiang Chen. After all, no one in this world can kill the demon god Enri. Only adventurers from other worlds. Such power. He looked at Jiang Chen's back. Aisha, wait and see. I believe that he dared to make a pact with the gods. He will definitely not let us down. However, Aisha said, what are we waiting for? According to the time, he should have already passed the fourth floor. But he still hasn't responded. Without waiting for him to finish speaking, the four statues simultaneously burst into dazzling light. And Chang Fen's face lit up with joy. It's bright? It was still for statues. The four sages recognized him at the same time. Aisha was also shocked to see this. What exactly did he do in the Tower of Transference? At this moment in the Tower of Transference, Jiang Chen slapped the old one. He wanted to cry but had no tears. He just casually complained about the test being easy. Unexpectedly, Tower of Transformation doubled the opponents on the 4th floor. Jiang Chen was so angry that he ordered Lao Mu to go up and fight, while cursing the transferred for not following the rules of martial arts. The healing spells in his hands seemed to be thrown out for free. He desperately added blood to old wood. Until 10 minutes later, the 4th level wooden people were completely eliminated by the. Jiang Chen was just about to go with old wood. Go to the next level. This time, the system suddenly prompted. Due to Jiang Chen's outstanding performance, the Tower of Transference will open the final test ahead of schedule. Please face 12 enemies alone. The longer you last, the higher the probability of passing the test. After the test begins, the area of the arena will continue to shrink. If the arena disappears and the enemy is not killed, the test will fail. Jiang Chen could not help but shudder at the sight. Sentence of national lessons came out. This is cheating. As the final test began, Jiang Chen looked at the enemy. He secretly rejoiced. He knew this was to test the priest, his ability to survive without the protection of teammates. But as the only dark priest in the entire server, without teammates, he will only be stronger. This transfer tower is too kind to him. Jiang Chen directly activated the reversal of yin and yang. Quickly heals and turns into a damage skill in a few seconds. With a final test in the void, countless fireballs and ice spikes flew at him. Jiang Chen saw this. Smiled. It's so easy. At the same time, outside the Tower of Transformation, The fifth sage statue also lit up. Yang Fen's face lit up with joy. It seems they really did choose the right person. He looked at the sixth statue. And could it be? Maybe he can really witness a miracle. Jiang Chen can become the second person to be recognized by the 6 sages. He had to admit that being recognized by 5 sages, indeed a genius. But to get the approval of 6 sages is almost impossible. Before he could finish his sentence, the 6th statue also glowed with a layer of light. Then Jiang Fen and the others looked at the 6 statues in disbelief. They didn't expect him to really be recognized by the 6 sages. It seems that this Jiang Chen brother from another world will become the second pope-like figure. Asha reminded him. After the test is over, Jiang Chen may fall because his spiritual power is exhausted. You should help him up. At that moment, the statue of the central god of creation suddenly lit up with dazzling light. Yan Chengfen couldn't help but stare wide-eyed. Holy shit! Am I seeing things? Aisha who was standing nearby, was very excited, and her body trembled involuntarily, and the two of them knelt down respectfully. We have seen the Lord of Creation. At this moment, Jiang Chen also woke up from the test of the Tower of Transfer. Woke up. When he looked back at Yan Chengfen and the others, he was stunned. Why are these 2 people kneeling before him? Yan Chengfen asked him to look at the statue. You have been recognized by that person. The light of guidance has already been lit. You can choose any of the 4 honors, including the Creator God. Jiang Chen looked at the statue of the Creator God, and couldn't help but wonder, is he also a hidden class? Asha had never encountered such a situation. She had never seen the statue of the Creator shine. But since it is lit, maybe this is Jiang Chen's opportunity. A golden light enveloped Jiang Chen's entire body, and then it continued to shrink to Jiang Chen's lower abdomen. The system prompts that the transfer ceremony is complete. You have become the light saint. Obtain the holy light body. Obtain the holy light pupil. As the light of his successful transfer faded, Captain Feng and Aisha once again respectfully kneel on the ground. Meet the holy light messenger. Jiang Chen the scene couldn't help but be stunned. The hidden profession aura of the light saint. Is that exaggerated? Does it mean that wherever I go, we'll encounter this kind of treatment? How can he still be so shameless as to take the mission reward? He must think of a way. He then went to Yan Chengfen and patted him on the shoulder, saying, Lo Jie, so rusty. I'm not trying to renege on the deep. Are you? At this moment, Jiang Chen looked at Yan Chengfen and laughed, and snatched away the last blow of the demon worshipper. You won't forget this, will you? Yan Chengfen was slightly stunned. A smile also appeared on his face. I will make it up to you when we get back to the capital. Hearing this, Jiang Chen patted Yan Chengfen on the shoulder. And I can't wait for your good thing. Aisha's face also showed a hint of a smile. He looked at Jiang Chen. His gaze softened. You can just call me Aisha from now on. The future of the Red Flame Valley depends on you. If you don't complete the task of killing the demon god in 2 years, and you stay in the Red Flame Valley, it would be interesting too. Upon hearing this, Jiang Chen hurriedly said, You can't say that. Say it. The Holy Lord Aisha took out a mask and handed it to Jiang Chen, saying that this is his compensation as the Lord of the Red Flame. After wearing it, all of his information will be hidden. Jiang Chen said that it was embarrassing, but his body was very honest and took the mask. Then Aisha extended her hand to Jiang Chen. The mask is yours, but you have to give me back the divine stone. Then he turned to Yan Chengfen, reminding him that this kid is a pain in the ass. Looks like you're going to have to pay a lot this time. Yan Chengfen laughed. That's fine. But if all 7 statues light up, I'm afraid the world will be in chaos again. Upon hearing this, Aisha's expression also became serious. Lightbringer has come to Earth. The Holy Light Temple must have already received the message. Hearing this, Jiang Chen thought to himself, no matter what the Holy Light Temple does, as long as he doesn't get involved with him, then everyone will be fine. At this moment, at the headquarters of the Holy Light Temple, the bishop respectfully salutes the Pope. Holy Light has not appeared for many years, but now it has suddenly appeared in the world. It is not known whether it is good or bad. The Pope looked at the statue in the middle, said reverently, God's will is not something we can presume to guess. As for the guidance of the God of Light, whether good or bad, we will know in the future. On the other side, Jiang Chen looked at his own attribute pale. His body trembled. I didn't expect to be a growth type. Hidden classes can learn to be a priest. Professions include the priest and the judge. After the primary light holy body is activated, removes all effects of control, and be used for half of your own level every day. Currently 9.5. No cost after the light holy vision is activated, and transfer many skills cast by the target, except for forbidden spells, into your own skills. and counterattack back. Try it, Lei. It can be used once a day. No cost. Jiang Chen looked at these two talent skills, could not help but swallow his saliva. Not only ignoring control, but also transform skills. It's truly invincible. But now, my opponent has never been a player. The gods in the world of the gods. At this moment, Yan Changfen suddenly patted Jiang Chen on the shoulder. If you keep laughing, I'll go back to Lihua City by myself. Hearing this, Jiang Chen finally came to his senses, and hurriedly asked Yan Changfen to take him with him. A moment later, Jiang Chen and Yan Changfen appeared at the gate of the city of Lihua. Jiang Chen couldn't help but wonder, why not go straight back to the mansion? But instead came to the city gate to do what? Yan Changfen laughed and said, let's go and experience it together. Hearing this, Jiang Chen was suddenly a little confused. Feel what? At this moment, the guard at the door suddenly shouted, I have seen the holy envoy. Jiang Chen was suddenly scared and his body trembled. The players on the side saw this scene, also called Jiang Chen a boss. They had never seen a guard NPC speak to a player. They never thought that the guards would be so respectful to a priest. When they took a closer look, and realized that Jiang Chen was the first priest in the national server who turned the tide. And Changfen's mouth curled up slightly, and jokingly said, Lord Zhenshi, how did you feel? Hearing this, Jiang Chen couldn't help but cover his forehead. If every capital city is like this in the future, I would have to shoot myself to death every day. Then he looked at Yan Changfen, and said, why don't? Let's go back to the mansion and talk about compensation. Yan Changfen took out a medal of the main city and handed it to Jiang Chen. To indicate that this item should be of interest to you, bearer of this medal can use all the main city teleportation arrays for free, and can purchase items at a 20% discount in all shops in the main city. Jiang Chen took the medal, and thought it was a good thing. After receiving the reward, the matter here was also concluded. He then planned to leave directly. Yan Changfen saw this. Says helplessly, this kid is really impatient. Jiang Chen had just left the city hall, and met his enemy, last night, in the stores. He remembered having told him before. In addition to the 3 guilds that had targeted him before, another player with the ID Last Night Star. At this point, he stopped the player Last Night Star. I have no grudges against you. Don't you want to explain the demon repelling fragment? Upon hearing this, Last Night Star turned his head slightly, to indicate that there is nothing to explain. We'll meet again in the future. Hearing this, Jiang Chen was instantly surprised. Did I ever see him before? What a strange person. Jiang Chen couldn't think of anything and had to give up for the time being, and unblocked the skill book first. After a short while, he arrived at the room of the priest mentor in the City of Fire. Unexpectedly, when he opened the door, he met a muscle-bound pervert, the ultimate mentor. Billy. Jiang Chen saw this. His whole body went numb, and asked him what his relationship with the Woti was. Billy smiled mysteriously at Jiang Chen. Adventurer, you have good eyes. He is my cousin. He wanted to say something more, but Jiang Chen didn't give him the chance. Directly blocked his mouth. Stop. Quickly unblock the skill book for me. 1 3-star and 1 4-star. And then he stuffed the skill books into Billy's hands. When he saw the skill books, Billy's eyes lit up instantly. 4-star skill book takes longer to unlock, so he decided to unlock the 3-star skill book first, and a golden light appeared in his hand. The 3-star Holy Light Sanction. A beam of Holy Light is released towards the enemy, causing 50% of the caster's attack power plus attack damage. Judge's skill. Billy handed the skill book to Jiang Chen. He exclaimed, it's a skill from the Judgment Department. I didn't expect you to have already completed the transfer. Jiang Chen looked at the skill book, and thought to himself, the Creator God is the mentor of the 6 hidden professions. That's why I can teach the skills of the judgment. This time, Billy said with a lecherous look, the unsealing fee for a 4-star skill book is not low. Plus the 3-star skill book, it's 250 gold in total. Why don't you pay first? Hearing this, Chu Jianke was speechless for a moment. After all, he is the #1 priest in the national server. Can I still default on a payment? At this moment, Jiang Chen suddenly thought, the main city medal. He handed the Lord City medal to Billy and looked at it. Your mayor said that all shops can get a 20% discount. Billy picked up the medal and looked at Jiang Chen distaffingly. You don't think you can get a discount on unblocking skill books, do you? Hearing this, Jiang Chen suspected that Yan Changfen had cheated him. This medal is not very good either. Though he waved his hand sheepishly. Forget it. Unlock it quickly. And Billy picked up the 4-star skill book and began to unseal it. The golden light was even more dazzling than the 3-star skill book. After a moment, the 4-star skill, Angelic Hymn, was released. The angelic shadow, immediately restoring 5% of remaining health, and then increases by 100% every second. This is a skill of the priest and high priest. See this scene. A portion of the pupil's instant shock. He didn't understand how Jiang Chen, Judge Priest, how he could still use the skills of a high priest. Jiang Chen took the skill book, said that this matter is a long story. I won't talk about it. Then he hurriedly said goodbye to Bill. Fortunately, he resucted quickly. Otherwise they would have known. He had become a lightbringer. He would have to bite. Unfortunately, I only have one slot left for skills. Otherwise, I could choose both. If I have to choose between the two, I'll choose this one. At this moment, Jiang Chen was very tempted by both skill books. But the problem is that he only has one skill slot left. To increase the skill slot, he can only buy an expansion stone from the Divine Store. And the Divine Shop can only be opened after the player reaches level 20. It can be opened, and the items inside are still random. It seems there can only be one skill book left in the backpack to gather dust. After thinking for a while, he chose the 4-star skill book. Angelic Hymn. Jiang Chen then used the yin-yang reversal. When he saw the effect of the reversed Angelic Hymn, Jiang Chen exclaimed, "That's so cool. The damage effect is directly twice the original healing effect." At this point, he suddenly received a system message that his friends Qinjing and Tao Xiaoyu had logged on, and he received a message from Qinjing, telling Jiang Chen that they were already at the Lihu City residence. Jiang Chen told the two women that he still had some business to attend to, and asked them to go ahead and redeem the rewards for the full server quest, and then buy all the attribute pills, and then buy skill books. If there are any remaining points, buy the skill stone. Next, he plans to first repair the remaining blood equipment in his hands. Repair. Jiang Chen suddenly remembered someone from his previous life. Maybe he can go find him. Thinking of this, Jiang Chen immediately set off. At this moment, in the blacksmith shop, blacksmith Miu is forging a longsword. However, with one hammer blow, the player's sword is directly split in half. Miu said to himself, "Today I've worked for nothing again," and broke another piece of the guest's equipment. He then threw the broken sword towards the door. It happened to fall at the feet of Jiang Chen, who had just entered the door. Jiang Chen was so scared that he retreated. Seeing the guest arrive, Miu scratched his head apologetically. Jiang Chen looked at the broken weapons, and secretly complained to himself. And could it be? This is the legendary most powerful blacksmith of the god. Jiang Chen suddenly felt that this was not reliable. He was just about to turn around and leave, but was stopped by Ania. "Don't go. Guess, I am really the best blacksmith in the capital city. After all, this is the city of Lihu. It is inevitable to fail in forging." Hearing this, Jiang Chen was stunned for a moment, and asked Ania what this had to do with the city of Lihu. Nia explained that the special fire of the earth is also called the special fire of the earth. Although there is a probability of increasing the casting level of equipment, the success rate will also be greatly reduced. Hearing this, Jiang Chen didn't know whether it was true or not for a moment. In a previous life, the city of Hu was destroyed. A lot of information disappeared with it. He still chose to believe in Ania once. Jiang Chen pulled out the ring that exploded in the Supreme Lord's throne, and gave it to Ania, and asked if he could repair the equipment. Ania took the ring in his hands and glanced at it, and immediately said yes. With the materials he has on hand, can only be repaired to gold level at most, and the original grade of this ring should be platinum. To restore it to platinum grade, it must be the amethyst teardrop in the abandoned mine. The amethyst tear in the abandoned mine. But the problem is that the wild monsters there have recently rebuilt, and the amethyst teardrop is in short supply. Jiang Chen also summoned two pieces of equipment contaminated by demonic energy, and asked if he could evolve together. When he saw this, Ania's pupils immediately dilated. "I didn't think you were so rich." "You have this stuff, although it can evolve, but it still lacks materials. You must get the pure spring water from the bottom of the cup, the pure spring at the White Cliff." Then, Ania issued a task to Jiang Chen to bring back 10 drops of the Zion tear from the bottom of the cup, and 10 bottles of the pure spray. Jiang Chen didn't expect that this could also trigger a quest. He took the storage bottle that Ania gave him, and he could also call Qinjing and the others to kill monsters together, and try to reach level 20 as soon as possible. He then went to the main city square, and sent a message to Qinjing and Qinji, to say that there is a new task. He was waiting for them in the main square. Suddenly he noticed a new task to eliminate wild beasts, and the location was the northern rainforest. It seems that the riot is quite serious. Otherwise, the materials in the blacksmith shop would not be so scarce. At this time, Qinjing and also sent a message to Jiang Chen. They encountered two NPCs in the room on the second floor of the mansion. They were arguing and asked them to join the two women, suspecting that this was a hidden mission. Soon, Jiang Chen asked them to stay there first. This is probably a pre-task, and then walked towards the city gate. It seems that today I can only do the task alone.